crisscross and make you jump, jump. Holy fire jump. Boogie vibes make you jump, jump. Good morning, people. Jump, crisscross and make you jump, jump. All right, all right. I'm singing crisscross. Y'all remember jump? I can't play it louder because then it's copyright. Woo! Miggity, Mac, Daddy. I'm the miggity, Mac. I'm the Bill Gates, baby. I'm the Bill Gates. Bill Gates to make you trick. The boogeyman to make you trick. The boogie virus make you trick. All right, I'm done. I have too much fun. I don't know why Facebook always asks me what I'm thinking about. Every time I log in, what you thinking about? Then people want to know what I'm thinking about. All kind of stuff in my head. Woo, what a good weekend. Good, welcome back, everybody. Y'all remember Crisscross? Crisscross, the two kids. Y'all, let me show you a picture. Y'all remember Crisscross? Jump. I don't think there's any much difference between what people tricking on the street, jumping for in the music, or jumping for Wall Street, jumping for Tony Fauci, jumping for Donald Trump, jumping for Barack Obama, jumping for you know what? Listen, we got a lot of stuff we can talk about today between we always being pimped by somebody. You always got your pimp. I have no interest in fighting over who got the best pimp. Oh, my pimp is the best. My pimp, goodness gracious, my pimp that gave me some shoes. My pimp that gave me some fur. Baby, what you get? All right. Oh, Lord have mercy. Woo, goodness, it's hot. Anybody hot? Pimp will make you jump. These pimps will make you trick. I'm just too old. I'm too old. I had a post a minute ago. I was just like, you know what? I was watching all these po-po pulling all these people out their house. And I was just like, why y'all surprised? Why? I don't even understand. And told people, but they was worried about China. Oh, we gotta help China. Like, no, you don't. China ain't got no police state, baby. They ready to go for you. You see all this stuff that's about to happen? Oh, we about to have a full-blown apocalypse. And it ain't no trick, but we all some tricks. Ain't no difference between a street worker and a Wall Street worker. Same thing. Some of them selling booty, you selling brain. What's the difference? You tell me. You still trick when you're told to. You still jump, and if that pimp smacks you, you do what you said. If they need to drag you out the house, stick you with something, test you with something, you're gonna go right along with it. Why? Because that's your pimp. That's your pimp, baby. That's why. Is this a white? No, this ain't a white beater. This isn't a white. This is a Kate May. Hang on, I gotta bring the comments in. I was dancing this morning. I dance every morning. I dance and sing. Can't sing, I can show dance. I hit 2 and 4. But the whole singing thing, I used to be in the choir, sang for Jesus. Now I just sing in the shower in the beginning of my videos. Good morning, people. Good morning. Hang on, let me see. Let me bring in YouTube. We'll see if Facebook wants to act right today. Ooh, I stayed off of Facebook this weekend, though. They shouldn't be mad at me. I'm fine with what everybody consent to. People don't even come at me. We had a good conversation this weekend about pedophilia. Not me. I know somebody else. Because I don't see any interest in fighting anything that the vast majority consent to. If the vast majority consent to it, us fighting that is like putting on a kick me sign. And you're not gonna change nothing. You don't change consent with force, right? You don't change consent with violence. You don't change consent by forcing them to stop. You don't fight rape by going after rapers. You go after the manufacturers, right? It's like these pimps. You can use the whole pimp drug dealer thing, same thing. You can take them all off the street if you want to. If you don't get that manufacturer, boy, you're gonna need the pimp gun. You're gonna need pimp spray. You're gonna need pimp juice. You're gonna need pedophilia juice. You're gonna need that. Whatever you need to fight these people. You know what? Listen, I don't know why people don't see it. Like they make a sustainable fight out of you fighting the side effects. I guess I don't get that. Yeah, is rape bad? Yeah, it is. Is abuse bad? Yeah, it is. Is pedophilia bad? Yeah, it is. Okay. So now, do these people, are they mentally ill or are they dark creatures? One or the other, but the fix is still the same. You ain't going to screw a hammer. You ain't going to hammer in screws. All right? They came from the same place, but they're not human. I don't know what they are. I can't tell you. It's like your leaders. I can link the whole pedophilia leader thing. It's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know anybody that can go to sleep and be okay killing people. I don't know anybody who can do that. That's a superhuman thing. That's not a human thing. We don't have the ability to sleep at night if we killed somebody in a car accident. You hear what I'm saying? You know, you can't sleep at night. So you tell me how your leaders sleep at night dropping all these bombs on all these people all over the planet. If you can explain that to me, then I guess, you know, you got something that makes some damn sense. But until then, I'm not fighting anything but what Michael Jackson told me. He said, fight the Negro in the mirror. I'm sorry. I say stuff I'm not supposed to. All right, there you go. Look like Facebook work. Yeah, I believe in the mirror, y'all. I stay in the mirror. I consent to all of this. I consented to the leaders, been voting and cheering and everything else. And I was behind all of it. You know, my only fight was that dude in the mirror. Like, that man, he messes stuff up. You know, people become the monster they're supposed to. Brother Paul had a good question. I posted something a minute ago. I am not in conflict with anything on earth. I am not in, because I believe in nature and everything on earth is natural. We make people that we shouldn't be making. That's the fight. I need to make sure I stop consenting to the people that are making people who I don't think we should be making. That's my only fight. Brother Paul has a good question. Y'all, those of y'all who know me know how the family gets down. What's the point in fighting something we consent to? If I were Bill Gates, I'd be Bill Gates. But Brother Paul, he hit me that right off. He was like, but Bill Gates, you're fighting Bill Gates, aren't you? Like, no, actually, I'm not. I don't have an issue with Bill Gates. I have issue with Bill Gates' power. I'm the first one to tell you. You can take Bill Gates out. You can take the pimp out. What's going to happen? As long as it's demand, you're going to have a supply. So there's about 1 million Bill Gates lined up, ready to go. So my conflict is not with Bill Gates. My conflict is with the person in the mirror. That's my only conflict. And if I can get him right, if I can protect the world from his potentiality to become a monster, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But short of that, the same power that created the system of psychopathic people and billionaires, because they're all psychopathic, every last one of them. Nobody goes to sleep at night with $1 billion of what will save every woman on this planet and every child from pedophilia, rape, war, and all that nonsense. Hunger, right? Nobody who can sleep at night with $1 billion or something in the bank while children are starving in the streets and under the cities, those people aren't normal. That's not a human thing. You're not going to convince me that any people care anything about abuse. And pedophilia is just one type of abuse. Why would those people care? They don't care about hunger. They don't care about bombs. They're making money on that. Listen, you need to understand. Just focus, pay attention. Understand when you're being pimped. That's all I'm saying. Understand when you're being pimped. And just say, okay, I understand. A pimp is an unnatural thing on the planet where food grows everywhere. Energy is free. It's always been free. It's still free. It's always going to be free. Speaking, I'm going to talk about the ram pump. I'm all excited. Somebody tag Jay. If Jay is around, Jay was all excited about these ram pumps. And I was exposed to the ram pumps. It's just another form of free energy. Energy always been free. They just need a pimp plantation. They need a plantation where they got pimps is running things to get us to work. That's all. That's all. Wall Street and street workers, same damn thing. Everybody just pimping different parts of their body. That's all it is. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Y'all have a good weekend. I'm off talking about ram pumps and pimps and pimpology and crisscross, make you jump, and the boogeyman and make you jump. I like that. Tony Fawcett I was just in the shower. I'm out though. That's what I was singing in the shower. Anybody else singing in the shower this morning? That's what I was singing. Because I don't remember the words. At 29, the words get hard to remember. I don't remember the words. I throw my words in. And the song came, it was like, you heard that record thing, and it's like, and I started jumping. Oh, Tony Fauci making everybody jump. Anthony Fauci making jump. Bill Gates make you jump. All right, I'm done. I'm finished. Like, please don't ever do that again. I know. I have conversations with myself. We just had that conversation. No, I ain't never gonna do that again. That's what I was singing in the shower this morning. All right, let's go on to the music. Come on, how's everybody doing? I seen all your videos. Thank you for sending me all the videos of all the police dragging everybody out the house and they draws and stuff. I feel like we're back. Cops they can start that show. Did they cops? They should start it back up again, because they're gonna start dragging everybody out their house and their drawers to get them shots and tests and all that stuff. I told people I ain't the one. I'm not interested. I do not roll over for Scooby snacks. I don't do it. At 29, I lived every single one of them years, every last one of them. You can't teach your old dog new tricks. You're not gonna teach me to roll over. You're not gonna be teaching me be scared of viruses, worms, bacteria, or nothing in the ecosystem or the environment. I agree with nature and the ecosystem. If it sends some RNA functionality that my body takes in, I get the coffee, snot, bubble flu, whatever, and I die, I'm supposed to. I agree with nature. I agree with nature's resolve. I don't agree with your government's resolve. I agree with nature's resolve. But what if it's a bioweapon? First of all, understand when you're being pimped. That's number one. Quiet weapon for silent wars. Thank you to brother Todd Church. He did the video this week. Oh, it was fantastic. I completely forgot. The pimps done told you about this pandemic long time. There's so many documents. The other document was quiet weapons for silent wars. They explained what they was gonna do. It's just something weird about this world. Like the pimps like, listen, we're gonna pimp y'all. We're gonna scare you, we're gonna sneak up on you and go boogie, 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 and you gonna jump. And like, okay, well, Scooby-Doo, you've been doing this a minute now. You understand how this works. There's always a man in that costume. They always got a plan and a purpose, and they need you to be scared. That's how they get you to late in the show to eat them Scooby snacks. I'm just too old for it. I guess I'm too old. If you don't know what quiet weapon for silent wars are, that's your homework. You need to go listen to it's on audiobook now. Brother Todd Church had it on audiobook. You can listen to it. Quiet weapons for silent wars. If you don't know what's happening in the world, things ain't making no damn sense. You need to listen to Deborah Tavares. What is it? StopTheCrime.net. There's so many whistleblowers and truth tellers and people that have been here for a minute. You called them all crazy. You were cheering for them to be thrown off Facebook, so your world don't make no sense to you. It makes perfectly good sense to me. Somebody let some pimps in the garden. That's what happened. Somebody let the pimps in the garden. And everybody's selling. Everybody got something to sell. I know. It may not be your booty and your hips and your legs and the other thing, your testicles, whatever them cool things is. But it's your brain, isn't it? In this example, what do we do to children? Send them to preschool, send them to daycare because they owe debts to billionaires. They're born in a currency-based, debt-based system. They need to get them some pumps and a fur, which is good grades in math, science, and English, so they can go find them a pimp and work for on Wall Street. All right. I don't know. I see analogies everywhere. Yeah, pimps and hoes, Courtney. I'm just tired of being a hoe. I'm old. I'm too old for this. I told you, 29. Y'all just treat me like I'm old yeller. Just take me on out in the field. Just go on, because I ain't the one. I'm not the one. You sending people over here to test me to find out if I got antibodies. Yeah, I probably do. I'm supposed to. I was in the garden eating worms. Ooh, did I tell y'all about my friend this weekend? I made a friend. I told you I've been making friends since the beginning of this pandemic. You've been on shutdown, not me. I'm making friends all the time, and I tell you to stay in your house because that's what your government tell you. That's what your pimps tell you, and if you don't say that, they delete your video. So y'all need to stay in your house, be safe. Be safe, don't listen to me. I've been making friends. I made an Indian friend. Oh, the brothers rolled up. Y'all think I'm playing. I post stuff all week and like the craziest stuff happens to me. I done seen this dude here like walk up my driveway and like he owned the place. And it's okay because he's from India. In some parts of India, they think they own the place. They can walk everywhere they want to. They don't have the requirements for space that NATO gave us, where we need to keep everybody away from us. So I saw him a couple times, walked up my driveway, and I'm working in the garden, so I ain't got no time to. I thought he was like a neighbor's friend or something. Like, okay, he looking at the plants. I always got plants everywhere. That's just me. That's my thing. I'm a plant hoarder is what I do. I even got plants from India. And so he was standing there for a minute, and I said, okay, I got to go get some mulch. I had to go walk around to the front, and he's still standing there. Oh, he was right up on the driveway looking at everything I surveyed. And so I went to go start a conversation with him. That young man, well, he wasn't a young man. He had a mask. He reminded me of like my grandfather to a degree. He's an elder. I respect my elders, and I love my elders. And I went up there, and how you know he was from India? Well, I'm an American, and he only knew one English word, only one. That's it. I tried a bunch of them. I tried my name Gerard. I did the thing. You know how they do in the alien movies when they meet the alien, you point at yourself, you say Gerard, and he was just like, look back, and he said something. I don't even know what he said, but I respect and love the dude. He had on his mask. I guess he had to be about 80 or something. And the only word he knew was India, India. He said, India, India. Okay, well, I guess your name is India, India. I'm an American. That's what I'm supposed to, thank you. But what is your name? He's like, India, India. Okay, well, I call you India, India. And I talked to him for a minute, but we talked for about 20 minutes. We talked for about 20 minutes, and I don't understand any damn thing that came out of his mouth. And I know he didn't understand me neither. But we did some universal language stuff. Universal language stuff. He gestured at his face, and I got to be careful. I don't want to get in trouble. He gestured at his face because he had his mask. I think he was asking me where mine was. Well, first of all, I was on my property, so, you know. I know, but I don't wear one in public neither. Ooh, what y'all think about these stores that they're not letting people in that don't have masks? What y'all think about them? I can't give my opinion because it delete the video. I'm just asking a question. That's all I'm doing. I heard about is a garden shop up the street here. They're not letting nobody. They're not letting nobody in unless you got a mask. Oh, a couple things I got to talk about. And my sheriff sent out a letter, said we not going to be violating the Constitution in any kind of way. I love my sheriff and I hate my sheriff, both at the same time. Because now I might have to get up on election day. I know my friends going to be mad at me. They're going to yell and scream, whatever. But sheriffs are elected. If you don't vote for them, you're going to get one that you don't want. And if my sheriff can stand up to the state, the federal government, if he can, he's supposed to do that, I kind of feel like I got to go out there on election day. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to get out of bed. I'm so mad at him. Why couldn't he just say, we're going to take your constitutional rights, we're going to drag you out the house and see if you got the viral update RNA and antibodies? He could have said that. He didn't. So now I feel like I'm obligated to a degree to get up on election morning to go out there. Well, why are you there? Who else are you going to vote for? I'm going to tell you, if I get out of bed, if my sheriff stick to it, I don't know. He might get me out of bed. I'll get out to that election booth. Be like, who is your choice for president? None of the above. Who is your choice for kind? None of the above. Who is your choice for senate? None of the above. Who is your choice for state? None of the above. Who is your choice? And get down to sheriff and boop, press his button. And that'll be the end of it. Then I walk out. If I do that, though, I'm going to wear a shirt because I don't want anybody to think that I'm there supporting the system, the pedophilia system. I rule by force and violence, destruction, crazy psychopathy. I'm going to wear a shirt say I'm only voting for Sheriff Johnson because Sheriff Johnson said he going to stand up for the Constitution and that man got a gun. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I put stuff out here in the morning and let my friends tell me what they think. Would y'all be mad at me if I go vote for the sheriff? Am I in violation of some rules or what do y'all call this? The truth of community or something? That's number one. Oh, that took me off on another story. I was telling you about the old man. I was telling you, do I still got the newspaper? Yeah. So we were talking, and I didn't understand. No, that's what he was asking me where my mask at. He was like, you can look up, and I was like, I don't know what you're saying. But I got friends in India. I said Bangalore. Because I had staff in Bangalore. And I was like, Bangalore. And he's like, oh, Bangalore, India. I was like, yeah, I know something. I know a word. I got a word. And then he asked me where my mask was. So he pointed at the mask. And no, don't give me that a mad face, Rebecca. I see you. Don't do that. No, because I quit that job. I ain't got no staff in India. I'm not a slave master no more. I do not have slaves that work for me. No, don't you do that, angry face. I gave that up. I walked away from that. I believe slavery is bad and I didn't want to be a pimp no more. Carrying that cane got too heavy. So he was pointing at his mask and he asked me, like he was asking me where my mask was. And I did the universal sign for well, I knew if he knew India, I knew he knew America. He has to know the word America. I was like, America, TV, America. This is the universal sign for crazy, cuckoo. Because I think we communicated that I don't believe in the cuckoo virus. And so the conversation changed after that. I told y'all we talked for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes. He only knew one word and I knew Bangalore. That's all we knew. And he probably thought I was crazy. He said, I swear, I think he asked me to sleep at my house. He asked me, I think he pointed at the house and he was asking me, he kept going like this and pointing at the house and going like this. He was either asking me, is somebody sleep in the house or can he take a nap? I'm not sure which. Is there an Indian culture that give you some nuts that you supposed to let him take a nap or something in your house? Because that's what he did next. He dug down in his pocket. And I felt like I was in Arkansas, right? Y'all know my family, my grandpa, he from Arkansas, El Dorado, Arkansas, a little town, barely made it on the map about 10 years ago. down in the swamp. And he reminded my grandpa. And that's how they get you too, because the pimps, no, they remind you of something. Like, a bald man was nice to me once. Like, yeah, no, that's a pimp. Now, anyway, he dug down in his pants and he pulled out a sheet of paper, was a newspaper, and something was wrapped up in that paper, right? I posted it this week and we was talking about it. Y'all think I'm crazy. I'm just telling you the things that happened to me. I don't understand it. And so he gave it to me. And in the paper, I got the paper from him and I opened it up. And I thought I saw what was some seeds. And so I said, okay, seeds, yeah, I'm gonna plant these, yeah, I'm in the ground. Like I had a pot that was next to me. I pointed at the pot and I was like, yeah, we're gonna plant the seed. Thank you. No, he's like, He like that, And I was like, what's he putting in his mouth? What the hell? Pointing at his lips and stuff. I gotta tell this story. And he went like that, and I looked at him close and I said, "Oh, them is almonds." Okay, well, I know I ain't plant almonds, but it take a long time to get almond fruit. And then he picked one up because I don't think he I understood. I think he thought I was gonna plant them because that's what I was gonna do. He said, He took one right out the paper that he handed me, and he went like this at his mouth, like the universal sign. But you're supposed to eat this, dummy. And on his hands, his fingertips. And I didn't ask him if he washed his hands. And then he put the almond right back in the napkin, right back in the newspaper. While I was working in the field, I was playing with worms and dirt and different stuff. And I was hungry. I can't tell you what happened next. Because if I tell you what happened next, they delete the video. I'm just saying, I've been making friends since the very beginning. I have not stopped making friends. I have not stopped, and I'm not going to stop. I made a good friend of him. Although I think he probably thought I was a bad friend because I ate the almonds and I didn't let him sleep in the house. So weird things happened to me. Then I went back out in the garden. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I know we're gonna talk about today. Woo! Whoa, yeah. You know what? There was a whole bunch of stuff. Then there's the ram pumps. I've been thinking about the ram pumps of free energy. Anybody around doesn't believe in free energy? They like to come around here every now and then. All energy is free, people. All energy is free from the very beginning. Sergeant J was on the ram pumps. Sergeant J was excited, loved some ram pumps. Ram pumps are a thing. Free energy, free energy. Look it up. Some people think the pyramids were ram pumps. So I think I'm gonna do my garden with ram pumps. I think I'll use that to drive the irrigation system. You don't have to pay for nothing. But I was thinking about like how a ram pumps work. If y'all want me to talk about it, I'll talk about it. But anyway, the point is you can pump water up 6 times the distance of what gravity drags it down. You're basically using gravity to pump water up a hill. And of course you can hook that up to a turbine. And then I was thinking about it. It's like, this is just a water turbine, right? Basically, it uses gravity. You're basically using gravity to solve a problem. It's like the hydro dams, which are free energy also. Everything is free energy because it comes from the sun, gravity, or wind. It's all free. But of course, you don't get to get it unless somebody puts a meter on it. So now I know if I create a system, because I built these ceiling fans. I built wind turbines out of ceiling fans. It's just an alternator. You can do it with the alternator in your car too. The kids and I did it as a project. And I'm thinking, okay, wow, so I can pump water up the hill and have it come down and run a water wheel, generate some power. You do that and you give it away, you're going to be a criminal. The Invention Security Act going to take it from you. They're going to classify it as terrorism because you can't have free energy. The pimps will not let you have free energy. The pimps don't do that. Pimps like to slap you and take your money. They like to slap you and send you to day school to get a degree. So all it is hydroelectricity. You're using gravity to run a wind turbine. You're using gravity to get energy. I take my kids all the time. We're used to when they were little down to the hydro dam, and that was free energy. It's just the pimps won't let you have it because we all consent to this system unless somebody puts a meter on it. So ram pumps is a thing. I found that to be exciting this week, and I did my research. I'm gonna make one this week and on 1-inch PVC pipe and see how that goes. I'll post the project, show you how that goes. Ooh, the other one I gotta talk about. Oh, this is horrible. Remember I told y'all don't worry about with the source of truth. Don't even worry about it. If it's true, it's true. Don't bring your ignorance into it. Dr. Shiva's controlled opposition. Dr. Shiva blew the walls off it this week. He blew the walls off it this weekend. He talked about foster care. Did you hear what that man had to say, or did you not watch the video because you mad at him what he said about Robert F. Kennedy and Dr. Buttar? Remember I said don't join no teams? Don't join no teams. Just listen to things that are truthful and go from there. He did a great talk on foster care, and I didn't know. That's how I got started in activism with children's rights, Title 4E, Bill Clinton. I was a Democrat at the time. I read the Child Welfare Reform Act of 1994, I believe it is. Title 4E. Remember I said read laws, don't vote for ignorant people that you don't understand what they're actually doing. Don't worry, actions speak louder than words. Don't give two damns about what comes out their mouth. Worry about what they put in the law on paper. Well, after I read that, I wasn't no Democrat no more. I ain't never been a Democrat since. Okay? I did not, I tried the Republicans on the sides and I didn't see any difference. Not really. So I don't have any interest in the system. But so I haven't read on Title 4E in a while. If y'all familiar with it, that's the law that made child trafficking a lucrative business in the United States. It allocated billions of dollars at that time for children in foster care. So of course the cash-strapped states, what did they do? They decided that we can make billions of dollars if we do what we're told to do from the federal government. And unfortunately that was for foster care. So it was taking kids out of homes, and they proceeded to do that. States at that point, the family court system became the only profitable department in most states because they started taking so many kids from America. They did in the UK too, I know, because my friend Johnny from there got caught on the Lincoln Memorial. I think his name was Johnny, I forgot. Or did I work with Johnny from the UK? I forgot which. That's when I joined the Fathers for Justice. We put on costumes, get out there and protest for children's rights. Johnny got arrested. He climbed on the Lincoln Memorial. It was international news. It's still out there. He went to prison. They let him go. And the other brother, he was American. I forgot what happened to him. So anyway, Title 4E allocated billions of dollars to taking children from their parents. Dr. Shiva did a video on it this weekend, and I had no idea what it grew to. I had no idea that it grew. Let me take you to the facts of it. Apparently, they didn't stop at a couple $2 billion. And it blew my mind. It blew my mind. We don't talk about these things in mainstream media. So I appreciate Dr. Shiva using his platform to speak what's true for children. I never turn on anybody saying anything truthful. People who say truthful things, run with it. When they say things don't make no sense, just walk away. When Dr. Shiva started attacking Buttar and Kennedy, I said, okay, well, you being pimped too. He's being pimped too, and he's got his money he's trying to make. Well, here's a video right here. So apparently, the defense industry, the war on terrorism, and all the other NATO wars we got going around the world, apparently they're not as lucrative anymore. Apparently, right now, the budgetary costs in the United States for taking children from their parents for foster care is somewhere to the tune of $1.2 trillion for 2020. Let me show you this. These are important things. I thought we were going to talk about the cuckoo virus. No, I don't really care nothing about that. Once again, I'm not at war with things that most people don't understand. Your ignorance will never determine my fight. There you go right there. The foster care budget versus defense budget. Did you know that you spend $1.2 trillion to take kids from their parents? That's an industry. That's called child trafficking. And it's more lucrative than war. I had no idea it grew that much, but it makes sense. We don't do anything about it, so of course it's going to continue to grow. So they're ripping kids from children. This is why I tell people, I think y'all are crazy as hell that you want to restart normal. Sit around and watching TV waiting for them the pimps to restart normal. You know, if you are a hooker, you're being hooked out for your brains, your muscles, your booty, whatever it is. Don't beg for that normal to come back. Let that psychopathy die. But apparently the war on children, the war on free children has been waging. I'm not a foster care person. I don't believe in the system. I know we can fix it. We're just choosing not to, right? It can go back to being about saving kids from abusive situations, but you added money to it. The minute you added money to it, it wasn't about children no more. It was about states making money, and that's what they're doing. Woo! Blew my mind. I didn't know that was the case. Now, anyway, so I'm gonna read comments. But yeah, there's no difference between street workers and Wall Street streeters, Wall Street workers. Same damn thing. You're in the Garden of Eden, and we break people for money. We break people and we make them pimps for corporations, pimps for corporations and hookers for corporations. And we live in a Garden of Eden where everything is free. The food is free, the air is free, the water is free. But we want to keep these conflict currency systems alive. We want normal to restart because we're doing better than somebody else. That's why I don't want normal to restart. I'm firmly in the position of I want your world to burn. I'm firmly on nature's side. Oh my goodness, that was me yesterday, ready to go. Dumped a cop. I was so sick of the lies and what? On full blast, on stop. Brenda Fallows, please don't do that. Don't do that. Cops are hookers too. Cops are hookers too. There also were some great videos with the cops. Y'all see these videos where they're saying, I'm not enforcing it? There are a couple officers now who are saying, no, they're doing videos right from the squad car saying, listen, these are unconstitutional laws. We're not enforcing it. So we definitely have different sides being drawn. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Oh, is that Furious George? Yes, right on his page. Go out to Furious George's page. He's the one who posted. There are two cops right there. One saying, I'm not going to enforce it. I'm not dragging nobody out the house and I ain't touching nobody. But don't go tempting Brenda Fowlers because they're hookers and they're going to show you their booty. That's what they're supposed to do. Some of them trying to get out the game. Some of them trying to take off their pumps, burn that fur up. And the others going to do what they got to for money. You know, don't tempt them. It will burn. Too much children harmed. I think so too, Christine Wins. I believe it will burn. I believe Eden is burning. And I think something great will grow out of the ashes. When you put that wood ash on the fire, great things happen. Or wood ash on the garden, great things happen. I think something beautiful will come out of it. But we got to get through it, right? Like to me, like Sister Jackie and I were talking this morning. It's like, I'm not a fighter. I'm not a fighter. I can fight. I grew up in Washington, D.C. area. Shoot, most I had on me was 10 boys. I was a little chunky, chubby boy with my saxophone, and they decided to jump me, all 10 of them. I ain't no punk. It's just I understand that every revolution, every time you fight, the winner uses that force to rule. Right? That's why every revolution has always failed. I don't know why people are still talking about it. Somebody had a good quote this weekend. I was looking about revolution. Said something to the effect of, well, we need revelations. We don't need a revolution. Who said that? One of y'all will get to it. I post things and I forget all about them. We need a revelation, not a revolution. We need a revelation. One of the revelations we need is that whoever wins the revolution, they always use the force to create a new psychopathic system right after it. We were talking about Gaddafi. And I cheer Gaddafi. I cheer Gaddafi not because Gaddafi was a good man. No. Gaddafi was doing the same abusive stuff that these billionaires were doing, right? He was just trying to create his own gold currency for the continent of Africa. I cheered him because then you'd have two big billionaire psychopathic central banking systems fighting each other, and Africa got all them minerals. That might have actually given a chance for the human race to breathe, to get a clue. So I'm not sure who said the quote. It might have been Saj Guru or somebody. But we need a revelation. We don't need a revolution. We need to stop with the by force systems, right? And that was the topic this morning. Well, people talking about pedophilia. It's just like, oh, this was funny. Hang on. This dude right here. I just don't believe we need to fight pedophilia. I think we need to get rid of the environment that create pedophiles. That's all. I believe in solving the problem. I'm not here. If there's a cure, why are we taking a pill for a side effect? I don't believe in fight. This dude was hilarious. Did y'all watch it? His brother's named Jamie Bennett. He was talking about pedophilia this weekend. I guess I was looking at it because I was watching Sister Lauren Pritchard's video. I was out in the garden and he came on. And I think Todd Church posted this one. I tagged you, Furious, and Tony, a few other people. He was talking about the UK's pedophilia problem. And I laughed the whole time. Not that pedophilia is funny. I just laughed because they think theirs is worse than ours. And I'm like, no, brother. We need to have a debate. That's a debate I'll be in. No, we got y'all. We got you live. Y'all might have had us. Y'all might have had more pedophilia in the UK in the 1800s, 1700s, 1600s before we came on the stage. But when we came on the stage and we became the Fourth Reich, you could not stand up to the amount of sick, psychopathic nonsense we got going on in this nation. No. So he was interesting. I don't know who did the quote. Oh, there you go. Plant my seeds, get my rhubarb in the ground. I was planting some beans and peas this weekend. I don't know where the quote is. What is it? Allocating endless acres of land for war experiments? Oh, it's terrorism. When your citizens starve under the cities. Yeah, your normal is satanic. That's what I was thinking about this weekend. I think plants give me thought. I just garden, things come to my mind and I post it. Right? Like, think about the millions of acres we allocate for experimenting weapons to go murder people. Making big, massive metal machines to send around the planet to murder more people. But we got people in our own country right here. Y'all got people in Britain, Australia, Canada, different places that don't even have land. They don't have land to grow food. They don't have food. They don't have a place to live. But we're still allocating land to create more weapons to go murder more people. Your normal needs to burn. It's psychopath. Are we picking a new gardening outfit for Gerard? No, we are not, Patricia. We're not picking anything for Gerard. Gerard is his own wave creature, vibrational energy, anything. And don't nobody pick nothing out for me but my mama. And happy Mama's Day to any of the mamas lately that I didn't get to yesterday. Happy Mama's Day. My mama is the only one who picks out the sweaters off the women's rack for me. That's, she's the only one. I love my mama to death, Patricia. It's warm, so I got on a t-shirt. I don't have on my mama's female sweater. She picked me. Because when you get old, you don't pay attention to the signs all the time. And that's my mama. I love her, so I wear the sweater proudly. But it was for women. And it's okay, because you got cross dresses now, so I can wear anything I want to anyway. But happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Well, I had a quote that I enjoyed on Mother's Day I was thinking about. We literally live on a planet. Wait a minute, what is this? Conflicts of the world are not between good and evil, but between one man's belief and another man's belief. And that's all it is. Sage Gruber. That's it. That's it. Anytime I say something deep, people, it didn't come from me. It didn't come from me. Who's that? Ty and Tony. Hopefully they put down the rod of rods sharpening each other. And because I get my stuff from just wise people. Right? Like it's just your indoctrination that's fighting. It's just your information. It's just your experience. That's all it is. And to me, it's not worth hurting anybody's feelings over what I know, because what the hell do I know? Ooh, okay. Did the cop say he would arrest those who offer tyranny? No, Jack. No, not yet. Not yet. They're just starting to wake up. Now, the videos I watched, the police were just sitting in their squad cars telling people, hey, listen, we're not supporting any unconstitutional laws. We took an oath, and we're not going to be like the medical industry where we throw all our O's out the window for a paycheck. What is this? 9 children's vaccinated and 7 are dead in Senegal because, okay, well, I don't know if that's true. Can't promote it nor deny it. I do know this. I do know that there are multiple countries after Bill Gates for hundreds of thousands of people being harmed by him. And I know my country has a vaccine injury fund. So I know that when they post that stuff, say they're 100% safe and effective, I know somebody's lying. Always interesting watching most folks go to the bathroom holding cell phones and come out holding the cell phones. Y'all haven't noticed that? I was thinking about this while I was in the garden this weekend. I was getting my leaves out and my wood chips, getting everything on my garden. I was fertilizing, getting the fertilizer going. And I was just thinking about that. You haven't noticed like people walk in the bathroom and they got the cell phone in their hand. And of course they go in the bathroom and I guess they put it in their pocket and they do what they get their business and they wash their hand and then they get their cell phone again. They got their cell phone when they're coming back out. We're all gardeners. We're all gardeners. That was fertilization. What you did. You fertilized your cell phone. I got friends that like to ruin me. I have a friend with a microscope and oh Lord have mercy. Just the things that are on your cell phone. All right. The things that you don't have to worry about. Nothing in the air, nothing in anybody else's mask, nothing coming out their mouth. You need to worry about what's on your cell phone. You can wash your hands all you want, but if you hold your cell phone before and after, you just wasted everybody's time. We're all gardeners. You just fertilize your cell phone. All the flora and fauna is growing. There's something, I have to route the ram pumps. No, that's not what I want to talk about. Well, I look for my quote. Yeah, so I'm excited about ram pumps. I'm excited. I was looking at, I was thinking about geoengineering this weekend. It's fun. It's interesting. Nobody's fighting climate change no more, which is a great thing. Maybe they heard the JFK speech. Maybe we posted enough. LBJ and JFK told you that they're fighting over the weapons, the satellite that control global cloud cover. And so I was thinking about rain, how it goes down in the soil and it breaks up the channels. Rain actually is a ram pump. When rain hits the soil and it goes down and follows the path of the roots and it creates pressure underground, explodes other little cavities that microbiology can go in, whereas the soil's compacted to break down the soil so the roots can grow even deeper. Rain is a thing. I was thinking about how trees call rain, how trees release that compound to make it rain. This is stuff called science, by the way. If anybody's interested, I know your corporations, the governments love to talk about it. That's not science that they talk about. That's called science-y. Science-ish. They take a little bit of science and they try to sell a product off of a little bit of science. I believe in science, but that's science. Trees actually make it rain. They literally release compounds to make it rain out the clouds. They call rain out of the damn cloud. And I'm just wondering, do they call rain out the cloud just for rain, or is it also because they know it explodes lower layers of compacted soil so their roots can grow even deeper? I don't know. A lot of interesting things we don't understand about this planet, which is why I say we shouldn't be fighting Mother Nature. Everything I see that's mostly profit is always about fighting Mother Nature. It's about taking something in the ecosystem and making an enemy out of it, right? Taking something and making it into a boogeyman to get a bunch of people scared of it so you can sell a product. Boogie, 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 boogie. I'm not scared of your viruses. They're a part of the ecosystem. I'm not scared of your E. coli, your fungi, your flora. You know, I'm not scared of any of that stuff. That's stupid. I'm not in war. I'm not at war with nature. I know you are, and it makes sense to you. And I think you should continue to fight your own ignorance. I'm not going to get in that fight. You know, this is why I say just go and take me out and treat me like old Yeller. Just go and put me out of my misery. But I'm never going to be in your ignorant fight against evil. Christine said he needed to drink. The old Indian guy, he didn't look parched. No, he didn't say he needed a drink. My hose is right there. He could have went right to the hose, Christine, if he was thirsty. We used to drink out the hoses as kids, which is the funny thing about the people over the age of 29 that I grew up with. We all used to drink out of hoses. You know, the dogs drink out of hoses and the deer because it drips and dew of water. Rats and mice in the middle of the night drink out because it drips out the whole, everybody hose and faucet is leaky. Then you got all the plastic and rubber that you could taste on a hot sunny day and the bacteria that live in the hose. We used to drink right out the hose. I don't know. He could have drank out the hose if he was hungry. Yeah, we're talking about ram pumps, Beaufont. That's free energy. Ram pumps are free energy. Wood stove kind of free. Yep, exactly, Jennifer. These are all examples. A wood stove is free energy. Everything we have is free energy. It's just we have to break nature. That's the problem with nature, is everything is free. And millionaires, thousandaires can't become millionaires unless they break something. You know, millionaires can't become billionaires unless they break something and convince you that you need them to go fight something for them. Yeah, Brother Tony, it's a war for facts. It's all a war for facts. You know, when you can accept the facts that we're all walking around in high heels and there's a pimp that ain't doing no work that's collecting from us, and usually it's called a central bank. When we can accept those facts that we're all hookers selling our bodies, they're just facts. You know, the next question is, what do we do about it? You don't go fight the pimp. You don't have to fight the pimp. All you got to do is lead the pimp. The pimp has fantasy power. We give it the power. Currency has power that we give it. Governments have no power unless we give it to them. That's why I'm saying everything is consent. And it's certainly a war for facts. Dr. Shiva is a bipolar drama queen, in my non-professional opinion. And you might be right, Patricia Hauser, but there's a place in the struggle for bipolar drama queens. There's a place in the struggle for everybody. If you're saying what's true, right? If you're revealing things, if you are using your platform to have revelations for other people, and he's fighting for children, talking about foster care and how it is a child trafficking business, we can fix the system. But you got to listen to the poor people in the foster care system, not the powerful ones at the top. You can fix the system and save children, right? You know, so there's a place for everybody in the fight. There's a place for crippled, blind, crazy, 2 legs, 1 leg, half a leg, in a wheelchair. It doesn't matter who you are, as long as you bring in facts. There's a place. We got a place for you on the battlefront. Just make sure you have a weapon. Like, oh, Lauren said this weekend, said she had a quote. She said, that social media is weaponized, and it's a weapon. And I agree, it's a weapon. And I didn't do a post, but I was thinking, like, you know what? Social media is a weapon. Just make sure that your weapon is focused in the right direction, right? Think about it like that. Make sure that you are fine-tuning your use of this, right? It's just a tool. Are you using it for bunnies and kittens and pretty pictures and get everybody? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that we know that this is a weaponized platform. All of them are. Are we using them to fight in a way that's fine-tuning our aim so we're hitting the root causes of problems, not side effects? I'm not even sure what Christ is talking about. Nookie, nookie, nookie. That's what happens when you newly in love. She newly in love. That's all you think about. Gee, you're an Aries. Aries is a ram. Oh, is Aries a ram? I don't know anything about that. Okay, appreciate that. I like the ram pumps. His phone's gonna work when none yet. Jonathan, thank you for that. I need to put this on silence. I'm not gonna be here for a long time today. It is on silent. It's on silent, so it shouldn't vibrate today. Plants are talking, so are the critters. They all are, Brenda, and they all work together in the ecosystem with the bacteria, the flora, the fauna, and the viruses, and everything, and the mosquitoes. And so I'm not fighting none of it. Everything has its place and its role, like Dr. Shiva and this whole drama queen thing. Everybody has its place in the struggle. Anyone not getting censored is suspect big time, Elaine. Big time, big time. That's how I kind of pick and choose who I pay more attention to, right? If you get big, you'll either be censored out of the conversation, they'll delete your page, they'll delete your platform, or if you serve enough of what they need you to, they'll let you stay. If you're not getting censored, you ain't been to social media jail, your aim is not true. Right? That's what Elaine is trying to tell you. If you are aiming at the real party, if you are criticizing those who actually have the power, who cannot be criticized, you will not have a stable social media platform. It won't be stable. Get used to posting, messaging, not messaging, and Buttar, Shiva, and I think Robert Kennedy, he went through it too. I think they all got pieces of the puzzle. They all got pieces of and they also have some things that they're up to too, right? We are still on pimp planet. They're still being pimped out and they still need rice. So they all got their angles. Buttar and Miskovitz are cool with each other. That's good to hear, Patricia. Hopefully Tony and Ty back cool being with each other, but I have not looked. Power out of wood stove can get great heat for food and water. It can, Jennifer. And if you ever want to look at like a very powerful heater, if this nonsense goes into the winter, because most of us have no interest in your tests nor your cures for things that we are not at war with, look up rocket mass heater. Rocket mass heater will keep your house warm and you'll use very little bit of fuel. Rocket mass heater, that's a wonderful thing. Kids and I built one for fun. They're simply amazing. Fire bricks, some cob, and a barrel. Anyway. And I think you can even do it with center blocks nowadays. I think they've always done it. Kings and their minions riding through the land, kidnapping pretty peasant children for their use. Yes, they have, Patricia. Yeah, ooh, this is why I love Patricia Hauser, right? Like, think about it from a historical perspective. They've always done this. This ain't, foster care ain't new. Pedophilia ain't new. None of this is new. Human trafficking, none of this is new. These are side effects of power. If you give anybody power over other people, they're going to abuse those people. It's just how monkeys are made. 98% monkeys, right? As long as power exists, pedophilia is going to exist. As long as power exists, then kidnapping is going to exist. As long as power exists, you're going to have rape. As long as power exists, the problem people have is power. So it goes back to the beginning of time. That's how they scare people. It's like war. Right? The number one spoil of war has always been women, stealing the women, raping them and the children, right? Why does war still exist? Because something psychopathically dark and evil exists on this planet, Patricia. I don't think that humans can harm children. I don't think it's in a human. I think that is some sort of, I think it's spiritual. I do. I don't know who I was talking about it to this morning. I think it's spiritual. Because I don't know humans that can do that. I don't know humans that can rape and kill. Those aren't humans. I think K-Pax was probably true in that movie, the Kevin Spacey movie that y'all tell me that I'm not supposed to watch. I guess what? I'm still watching it. I'm still watching it. There's still great examples in it. Michael Jackson's music, I'm still listening to it. The Jackson 5, I'm still listening to it. Why? Because of the Jackson 5. Once again, I am not at war with baby pedophiles. I'm not at war with baby abusers in a system where people are voting and holding up the system that why all abuse exists. Like that's the issue I had. I think I was talking to Karen about that this weekend. I'm not interested in people telling me I need to boycott Kevin Spacey. Really? I need to are you boycotting the DNC? Are you boycotting the GOP? Are you boycotting the political politicians and leaders that hold up Abuse Planet? NATO abusing entire nations. If I have to not listen to ABC, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. If I can't listen to that, then you ain't voting. Let me know when you ain't voting. How about that? Let me know when you're boycotting the manufacturers of abusive people, of rapers and pedophiles, those who keep the system going, according to behavior scientists and neuroscientists, and then maybe I'll boycott K-Pax. That's what I was talking to Karen about this weekend. I'm not interested in the baby abusers. They like to serve those up to us. It seems like every couple years in Hollywood, they pick somebody and they just throw them out lambs to the slaughter. They'll pick a Epstein. No, I don't care nothing about Epstein either. My interest in Epstein is his example, right? When you're out of favor with these psychopaths, they'll throw you out. But they keep rolling. They keep rolling. These are just the ones who they serve them up to make you think that somebody in the system that backs the power that creates all the problems is fighting it. You know, so yeah, no, my issue is with the root problem. And the root problem is the system. It's not any of the side effects. I'm not fighting Epstein. I'm not fighting rapers and pedophilia and whatever. You got police for that. You got Homeland Security, you got FBI, CIA. Get them doing their job, and instead of chasing children in trailer parks in the ghetto for dry plants, and you wouldn't have that problem. If that's your fight, then that's where your energy needs to go. My energy is too important for me. And if I'm gonna use my platform on social media, I'm gonna fine tune my targeting as much as possible. And my targeting are the ones who hold up the manufacturers that create the environments that make these people, right? You become what you fight. Ooh, see, Christine wins. And that yes. Amen, church. Amen, church. Do you know what she's saying? She's saying that whatever you fight, you take on that energy, right? That's how whatever you consume, you become. There's another good saying, you are what you eat. If you use force to solve a problem, and force is what created the problem, you become that. That's why I'm not fighting abusers. Why? Because I know abusers were once abused. Well, I don't know that. These are what the professionals say. Abusers come from abuse, right? And so some of them become, goodness, Oprah's such a bad example. I'm not going to use the Oprah example. She came from abuse, but you know, abusers turn around and once you show them a world where they can only thrive if they become abusers, then that usually is what they do. But abusers were once abused. And so when I look at an abuser, I try to think of them as a baby. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be unpopular, but honestly, I really don't care what you think. I'm doing what I feel that this God thing told me to do. That I'm supposed to solve all my problems in the mirror, and I'm supposed to look at people and try to create environments that make better people. If people are hungry, I'm supposed to feed them. Whether that be for information or a free society that they don't become psychopaths. You know, my waging is against the environment, fixing the environment so you don't have these problems. You know, when you use force to solve a problem, you become that problem. And why do we have pedophilia to begin with? Because they use force to solve a problem. They had the power, they could abuse people, so they did. Right? So get rid of kings and lords, get rid of power. You know that you're a sovereign and you're a God and nobody owns you, no one can control you, and things go the right way. Nobody has a right to inject you, nobody has a right to cure you from a fight that you're not even in. You know, that's where I stop, because you ain't getting no monkey DNA in me. I already got enough. I got 98%. You ain't putting no monkey tissue in me. I listen to virologists and they say very scary things about what they put in some of these shots, and you ain't putting that in me. You can take me out in the field and shoot me like Old Yeller. You can shoot me in my living room if you want, but you ain't injecting me. And I'm not interested in your test and your cure. You know, do you got the cuckoo virus? I hope that I do. I hope I do. I hope I do, and I hope I got the antibodies. All that test is it's a test for healthy people. That's what it is. Well, who has it? Whose body beat it off? And we need to take those people and treat them a certain way. No, you get the cuckoo virus every year. That's why it has a number behind it. 16, 17, 18, 19, and when 20 comes along, I'm gonna get that one too. It's just information. It's just information. Beaufont talks about that. Listen to people like that. Listen to the virologist. I'm not in that fight. I'm not in a war against nature. Nature works the way it's supposed to. Oh, goodness gracious. Anyway, Gaddafi was an excellent leader. Yes, he was, Tony, and a psychopath both at the same time. For the same thing what Christine said, right? He was trying to create his own little psychopathic bank, right? That's how that works out. He was trying to create his own little slave plantation and be the pimp. Gold-backed currency, right? The problem is currency. The problem is capital. But he was going to take on the current NATO Rothschild one, right? And that's a good thing. Anytime juggernauts are fighting each other, it's a good thing. But I have no confusion that he was just trying to create his own little psychopathic pedophilia, force, and abusive system, right? But definitely an excellent leader. At least Gaddafi was one of the good bad kings. Ooh, Christine, yes, from the environment he was in. I agree with that. He was one of the ones that was taking on the biggest bad kings, right? Now, how's that saying go? The enemy of your enemy is your friend. He was taking on the reason why violence exists on the planet right now, why abuse exists on the planet right now, only from that perspective. But if he would have won and beat out the NATO Rothschild central bank empire, he would have became just as bad, if not worse. All over a plant that the U.S. government has held a patent for it as medicine since the 1970s. All over a plant that they've held a plant. Oh, you're talking about the war on drugs, Anna, the Schedule 1? Yeah, I don't believe in war on drugs. I don't believe in Schedule 1 at all. Once again, that's just another solution by force, right? You're telling people that they can't have something that they have every right to have, right? You have a right to self-medicate. You have a right to self-medicate. Ain't nobody else they don't have the ability to force you to not take care of your own body, but they use Schedule 1 to do that. They use Schedule 1 to try to pimp you, right? And that includes all of them. It's just not cannabis, it's cocaine and all the rest of them, crack. That's your business, it's not my business. You trying to come in my house and put crack inside a shot and shoot it in me, but you telling me I can't go out and smoke crack. If I'm not stupid, then I should be able to go do that. I believe in those things. I think that you need to look at information, make your own decision. So I'm against the war on drugs in every form and fashion because I believe in all violence is wrong. And if you got to use force to do it, then it shouldn't be done. You shouldn't have a police state. I think they set this stuff up, Anna, because it makes people feel good about themselves. Right? They feel good about themselves when they pull the lever because they don't have to pull the trigger. And they don't do an association between the trigger and the lever, right? You got two political parties in my country that are 100% behind the police state, 100% behind creating more prisons, 100% behind creating more laws and putting more police on the street and taking more rights, all of them. And they will kill you if you don't obey. They'll throw you in a cage if you don't obey. It doesn't matter how old you are. But people disassociate that trigger pulling with the lever pulling. But you pull the lever, it gives them the authority to pull the trigger, and they do. So I'm against the war on drugs. I think if your government gave two damns about you, they'd have ended that war on drugs decades ago. Once they realized that killing more citizens is supposed to be supporting than supposedly helping with a medical problem, which is they over-medicated and became addicted to. I was only led astray when I ignored it. What did you ignore, Susan? You're led astray because you was ignoring the mushrooms I was posting this weekend? Is that why? Susan ain't quit. She's still posting about her wild found asparagus. I was planting asparagus this week. Well, okay, no, I didn't get a chance to plant. I had the bag. I was about to plant it. I didn't get a chance to plant it. I posted some mushrooms. Please, people, don't eat no mushrooms. Okay, do not eat no. Don't eat mushrooms because they're gonna put you in the cemetery. I was asking her what a mushroom was this weekend. She didn't recognize it. Oh no, somebody posted that. Oh no, it was food. I could eat it. But it looked kind of gooey, so I wasn't gonna put that in my stomach. Now, if zombies are chasing me, yeah, I'm gonna eat it, but I'm not gonna eat no mushroom from underneath. No, it was under a wood pile. I was not gonna eat that. No. Zombies chasing us, I eat what I got to. I need to know what food is and what's lettuce and the plantains are. But in good times, nah. Unless it's asparagus, wild grown asparagus, yes. With wild grown mushrooms, I'm just going to end up killing myself. All right, let me see. Plumber's butt by day, weather voices by night. See, Bofine, he making jokes. I was trying to explain that no, in the morning I was working on the aquaponics system, and I had plumber's crack at that moment in time, and then I was bending over in the garden. I don't know, I was digging or something. I was turning the grass. And I realized that I felt a little air in the back. It's like a revelation. Like plumber's crack, you know when you got plumber's crack because you like, it's a little drafty back there. What's going on? And I know my neighbors are probably just like looking out their window like, what the hell, Bofine? Honey, come look at this. Come look. This idiot, he didn't have plumber's crack this morning. Now he got gardener butt. He got both of them. They just one becomes the other. I was not inside this weekend, Bofine. I was out working. Ooh, geoengineeringwatch.org. Yes, Rebecca. And once again, they get banned from Facebook. If it's banned from social media, it's important. It's what you need to look up. If it's popularly held and it's not being banned, then you know enough of it ain't true. That's why no one should rule over anyone else, because while there are the rare good rulers, power attracts greed and corruption. It's enabler, as is money. That's root facts, Kim. As long as power and money exist, we are just waiting on our own extinction, right? Because it's like flies to doo-doo. Flies to doo-doo. When there's power when it exists, then it's going to attract the people who are raised to be psychopathic, abusive pedophiles, and whatever else. And so they'll flock to those systems, right? The people who were abused as children, they grow up, say, I'm not going to be abused as an adult. I was locked in that locker. I ain't going to do it now. I'm going to get me a badge and a gun, and ain't nobody locking me in no lockers again. The same way it works with police, it works with politicians. They flock to the power-based systems. I like how Dr. James Fallon says it. I haven't talked about him in a minute, but if you watch his videos, he explains the mind of a psychopath. Like the psychopath is always trying to create an environment that it'll thrive in. Like us, like anybody. It's the only reason I spread love. I try to spread love everywhere I go. Why? Because I thrive in loving times. I thrive in conditions and environments of love. And the only way you get it back is you got to put it out. And the psychopaths do the same way. It's not how nature works. That's what I'm saying. I'm not at war with nature. I believe these neuroscientists and behavioral science is where psychopaths come from. They're just trying to create an environment that they'll thrive in, just like we all are. So they get in powers in government, and they created DEA. They create Homeland Security. They create a FEMA. They create a Patriot Act. They take rights from people. Why? Because it makes you abusive and aggressive. It makes you a monster. And the more monsters that there are, the more scared you are of your neighbors because they got cuckoo viruses and whatever else, or they're violent, they're pedophilias, or whatever you have. They're abusers, they rape, whatever. The more of them there are, the more those leaders at the top will thrive. That's just how that works. And that's what he kind of explains it that way. That psychopaths, they have a need. And they only get that need if that need is something they can thrive on in the environment. You see what I'm saying? Oh, brother Chris Lewis in the house. Exactly, G. We thrive in the midst of love. That's it. And then Chris, that's why I got the apples behind. Let me hide the pimps for a minute. You late, Chris. We were singing to you earlier because Chris Cross had this song called Chris Cross and make you jump, jump. The pimp daddy make you jump. And somebody said, Tony Fawcett make you jump. And the leaders all make you just jump. They all just make you turn tricks. Let me get rid of the pimps for a minute. That's why the pimps are in the Garden of Eden, right? They got the apples back there, right? When you create loving conditions, you create loving children. You create a loving next generation. When you release free energy and you unlock the free energy in the hydropower plants and nuclear power plants and give it free to creatures that are born in your country, then great things happen. But this is a conflict-based system, and that's what the psychopaths want. They need you to be in conflict. They need to tell you that the UFO is aliens and not that it's not just a free energy device, and it doesn't matter if it's aliens. Everybody could be free, but they need you to strut on the street. They need you to go get that job. They need you to work on your pedigree, your bag of tricks as a hooker. They need you to work on your hooker resume. I can do this, I can do that, I can do that, daddy. I can do spreadsheets, daddy. I can use PowerPoint. I can do this. I got this degree. I got this bachelor's degree. I got this PhD. I strut for you. I'll physically show up on time and physically leave. I'll use what I got to get Big Daddy what he wants, owning and running the corporation for the GDP. Does that make sense? We ain't no different. We are no different. Don't ever compare yourself and think because you work on Wall Street, you're any different than a street worker. You just selling something else. And in fact, to be honest with you, somebody tell me if I'm wrong or not. But there are people who are street workers who psychologically put themselves in a place where it doesn't affect them the rest of their life, that they might be able to become normal people the rest of their life. That physically they push it back, that the mental abuse is worse than the physical abuse. I bet you there are hookers on the street who can reboot their lives and become loving people, but they're psychopaths on Wall Street that can never get out of it. When you agree with a psychopathic abuse system, because isn't psychological abuse more damning than physical abuse? Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. Or is it just based on the person? Right? There's some hookers who can reform and become great loving people again. There are people who have jobs for these big corporations who will never be human again. They'll always vibrate in that negative dark space. Sister said this morning that these billionaires and these psychopaths, that these people are aliens. I don't know. They might be, they might not be. I'm not sure. I just know that there's something very dark happening on this planet. And we create environments that allows things to thrive that most people can't do. You know, ask for a kill list. I mean, who does that? Ask for a kill list. Ask for a list of people to kill in other countries that you ain't never met. And Donald Trump ain't no different. I know that well, no, that's not true. He's a little different. He's a little different. I mean, the psychopathic stuff is still happening. It's just a little funnier when he does it. That's all. Because he's not a career politician. I still agree with my friends who are just like, you know what, we need to throw a few more monkeys in the system, a few more people who aren't slick talking to give us just enough time to try to maybe figure out that we're all being played and we're all being pimped. My mama told me, did y'all watch the, I called her for Mother's Day. She told me Michelle Obama has a documentary. I just said, Mama, I ain't gonna watch Michelle Obama. I said, Mama, I love you, but she's a little too high up in that system. And if I was Michelle Obama, yeah. I mean, I would be Michelle Obama. Don't get me wrong if I was Michelle Obama. But Patricia, don't you even start if you still here. Because I know I see her laughing. Don't even start. She's gonna chase people off. Stop it. No, if I were president and I were in my current state of mind, or first lady, I wouldn't be doing anything that they're doing. But see, that's an unrealistic example because I can't take me and how I am right now and put me in their shoes, right? It's easy for me to judge. If I were them, hell no, I'd be whistleblowing. You know, if I were me, raised poor, and all of a sudden I'm president one day and I won the thing and I'm in office and they take me back there, whatever y'all believe, sit me down with the aliens or the Illuminati or the bankers, Rothschilds, Rockefeller, Israel, whatever y'all believe, and say, listen, this is what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to have a kill list. You're gonna have to bomb some babies. You're gonna have to keep this war on drugs going. You got to build up the police state. You're gonna have to take some of their rights. You're gonna have to pretend that the cuckoo virus was a real thing after it was proven that they overstated it. This is what you're gonna have to do and have a slow reopening. I said, oh no, y'all can go ahead and kill me now. Go on, shoot me now. Illuminati, alien, you got that little death rate? Yeah, go ahead and stick that in my face and do that. Go ahead and do that right now. Because you let me on that mic, I'm going to do what an adult does. I'm going to do what a man does. I'm going to tell the people the truth. So go ahead and kill me right now and then make sure you look like an accident. Whatever, however y'all work this stuff out. Treat me like JFK because I ain't going to get on that mic and lie. I don't believe in any of that. But these guys get up there and lie. You know, and they get up there and lie because they're obviously not in control. You know, but I think only an adult, only somebody probably who's been abused enough can recognize what a pimp is and realize that, damn, I was just born in the system. That apparently this people that I thought were leaders are all just pimps and they're all pimping me out and they're all doing the same thing. Now they might let me choose a different color fur, They might let me choose the higher pump or the lower ones, you know, like the high, I don't know the difference in the pump things y'all wear, but some of them like real tall and you got trouble walking in the morning, and you got the little ones. They might let you choose that, but they don't let you choose whether or not you're going to be a hooker or not. And I don't believe in that system. Like Chris Lewis said, if you create an environment of love, people become loving creatures. You would create an environment of conflict, pretending energy is not free, making everybody go get grades and jobs to work for the psychopathic billionaires that run all the corporations that's abusing people all over this planet. That's what my mama told me. She said to watch. I said, Mama, I ain't gonna watch Michelle Obama. I said, Mama, I love you. Happy Mother's Day. I'm sorry we haven't fixed the planet. That you are creators, and I want to call it Creation Day. I don't want to call it Mother's Day. I want to call it Creator Day. Happy Creators Day. Because the energy that women have, mothers, they create. Well, women, I want to say it, they still got the ability to create. We need to create more than what we destroy. Somebody said that. It was a great quote. It said something to the effect of, you know, welcome to Earth. Try to create more than you destroy. I think his name was Gerard, but he got it from somebody else, I'm sure. Try to create more than what you destroy, right? Creators come here, and I think for the most part, it's, you know, we destroy more than we create for power, for money, for good jobs, for better degrees, for getting ahead of your neighbors. And we're supposed to be stewarding the planet. We're supposed to be creating and not abusing the creators, but creating better environments for them so they create more beautiful things. Like, we are creators as men to a degree from a patriarchal perspective, because we're supposed to be creating the environments that makes it safe for the creators. And somehow we're in this psychopathically dark time where a man thinks that it's a good idea to raise his hand to a woman or even cuss her out. I don't understand any of that. I've never cussed out a woman in my life. I've never hit a woman in my life. And it's not a thing of pride. That's just, don't go there, right? It's a thing of luck. I lucked up and was born in the right family to where I didn't do those things. I was born in a family where I saw my father with the other men sat a man down in the family who thought he was going to marry into the family and abuse a woman in the family. And I took that in. Where my father said, hey, we're not a family that calls the police. We don't call the police. We're going to deal with this, right? So I'm of that mindset. You got to create an environment for creators to thrive. That's your job as a man. That's the only reason why you got muscles. That's the only reason that you're a little stronger, right? You got a little more muscle because you're supposed to be protecting the tribe, building an environment based in love for the creators so they can create better creations. And then the next creators create even better creations. That's how I think all this works. You know how we say that thing that God is a creator that creates creations, and the aliens created you, but you called them God. That's all our job. That's the only job we got. That's why you have muscles. It's not to go out there and work for corporations. It's not to go out there and work for psychopathic billionaires. It's not to go out there and work for the GDP. Your job is just to create a better environment so our mothering creators can create beautiful things, and those things get more beautiful each generation. You know what I'm saying? But we got to work on the environment. That's my place. That's the only place I'm putting my energy. I'm not interested in fighting side effects anymore. Christ is self-medicating right now. Thank you, Christ, for letting us know. I'm about to end the video, so you won't say nothing crazy that you might regret later, because that's what self-medication does. It makes you happy in a time of prolific sadness. And when people are happy, they have fun, they laugh, and they say things that they regret later. Still wonder why your prayers aren't answered, because you are a robocaller. God hangs up, don't insult what God made in his image. Ooh, brother Mark, I agree with you. Well, I don't even think people dialing the right number. I don't even think, I think they start dialing, and I think they got the wrong number. I think people start dialing, Mark. Like, I like to science my religion. That's what I do. I like to science my religion, and that's why it landed me on spirituality. If I'm starting to dial the number, brother Mark, I know, because you definitely over 29. And so I know you remember the rotary dials. You know how you start dialing if you got the wrong number, the operator don't wait for you. You're like tick, 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 and you already hear that. you're dialing the wrong number. This did not work. This is not an appropriate area code. Whatever that woman used to say, you're on that and but you still dialing. That's how I kind of feel like. People still praying and it ain't coming true. Then maybe you must have the wrong number. Maybe you're not calling on the right name. People say like this. I like Forbidden Knowledge. How he talks about Yeshua Christ. You know, people still calling on the name of Jesus, and I was trying to tell my brother the other day, Mark, that Jesus actually is not a real person. Not a real person. Ivana used to say that to me. I would talk about Jesus, and she would say Jesus ain't real. She was right. She was right. She was right and she was wrong. Jesus in terms of name, the Greeks gave him that name. That was not his name. His name was Yeshua. Maybe they dialed the wrong number, Brother Mark. I don't know. But I know if you keep praying for happy times and happy times ain't coming, then maybe you need to think about praying on the inside. Maybe think about that the whole Gnostic thing is true, that God is from within, that we are God and goddesses, and that the only thing that you really need to be invoking is you. And the collective energies. If we're all one big collective and we're all dependent upon each other, we all survive by each other. Well, you can't have children being starved in Yemen and expect pedophilia to not exist. You're not fighting pedophilia, cheering a government that's blowing up children in another country and burning nations down that empower abusers to human traffic and do pedophilia. You're not fighting pedophilia, you're a part of the same energy. That's why I'm saying that, I believe in fighting things at the root level. But I like to science my religion. If I try something and it doesn't work, I try something else. All right. Me too, and valued others' opinions of what I should do over my intuition. Follow your intuition, Kim, but also listen to other people. I listen to other people. I don't always follow others. Actually, I don't follow nobody, to be honest with you, Kim. I'm an obstinate bastard. I am obstinate. I listen to what everybody has to say, and then I'll step on things that make the most sense. Oh, that's a long one, Beaufort. I'm not sure if I can read all of that. Again, in order to survive a sociopathic system, each of us have to resort to the sociopathic method ourselves. Until we come to terms with that, that within ourselves, absolutely nothing will change. There are no exceptions. Again, in order to survive a sociopathic system, each of us have to resort the sociopathic method. I think, did you mean reject, Beaufort? Because I think I agree with you. If you don't like sociopathy, then you shouldn't be a sociopath. If you're fighting narcissism, then you shouldn't be a narcissist. If you're fighting billionaires, then you shouldn't be a thousandaire trying to be a millionaire who wants to be a billionaire. If you're fighting pedophilia, then you shouldn't be voting for a government that requires it to exist or creates the environments for it to thrive. You become what you fight. I think that's why I'm saying the only fight is in the mirror, and that's really not even a fight. That's just to stop consenting to a system that needs to go away. And there are no exceptions. Like Beaufort said, until we at the core walk away from the consent of these dark psychopathic systems and parties and governments and kings and lords and tyrants because we hate somebody else and we are trying to get legislation to force them to be like us, until you get rid of that sociopathy, that democratic mob rule, gang rape philosophy, until you let that go, you ain't really fighting nothing. You're actually helping the system. You're either fighting at the root level where you are a part of the system. You're fighting to hold it up. You're either fighting for a system. You're either walking away. You're either walking away from the system, or you're fighting to keep it. That's it. Because if you're fighting, it means you're hitting a side effect. And if you're hitting a side effect, you're just propping up one of the table's legs. You're not dealing with the root problem. You are either walking away from the system because the system needs your support. If we don't believe in it and don't support it, it just collapses. That's exactly how I am. Only times I've tried them is when someone blessed me. All right, Chris Lewis, let me see. What do I think? Other than the mass hypnosis and stupidity, people don't critically think. No, they don't critically think, Tony, because we don't raise them to. We've destroyed the Department of Education. We created a single point of failure where teachers can't do their job. Teachers love kids and they love to create little creators that create things and make Tesla-like technology. They have a passion for educating children, and we won't let them educate. We got a central point of failure. It's called the Department of Education. You can't have central point of anything. Oh, Tony, yeah, and you right on point with what you talked about in your video last week. You can't have central point of failure, or the system will always be failed right there. Balance, the dance of life, isn't it, Christ? You gotta learn how to balance, and that's because she's getting high right now, so she's balancing out. She's balancing out the psychopathy of being born a creator and a matriarch and a planet created for equality and balance, but the patriarchs turn it into a system based in power, money, and conflict. So you got to balance out, and I'm glad that you found a natural way to balance out. Unfortunately, what is it, 40 or 60%? I forgot how many women are on antidepressants. They literally take antidepressants just to get up in the morning. You make a system like that, that's not a system. That's just an oppression engine. All right, I'm going to try to do a live stream while in this happy phase of the shroom cycle. I'm glad to hear that, Chris. Does that mean that you are eating mushrooms? You're not supposed to say that publicly. If you are, that's probably why Daniel ain't around no more. I ain't seen Brother Daniel around in a minute. He likes shrooms. Yeah, do your happy video. Happy video, but all your videos are happy for the most part. I ain't seen Chris yelling and screaming at people in a minute. I call him the Reverend. All right, let me see. Gotta seize the day. Yes, Susie Rosenberg, every day. Every day, seize the day. Every day. Grab your apathy by the bootstraps. Look in that mirror and seize the day. Figure out how to go out in the world, create more love, so we have less psychopathy going around. Absolutely. Courage is contagious, but so is fear. Ooh, Christ, good question. What's more contagious, courage or fear? I don't know. I kind of think most people are puppets, Christ. I think that courage is contagious, given the balance in the ecosystem. We all want to be courageous. But fear, when you got a mainstream media that can scare people, I think fear is probably a little more prolific. And I think the most courageous thing that anybody can do is to fight the bastard in the mirror. I think everything else is cowardice. I think if you picked another group to go fight, I think you're a coward. I do. I think the hardest person to fight is in that mirror. I think it's easy to fight China. Easy to fight Russia. It's easy to fight white people and white privilege. It's easy to fight brown people and, oh, you're lazy and immigrants. I think it's easy to fight those things. It's easy to fight anything that at the leader levels handled down to you by psychopaths. But fighting in your own mirror, fighting your own narcissism, fighting your own sociopathy, fighting your own consent, that's where the real fight is. That's the real fight. Everything else is a fake fight. It's fight. Absolutely. Courage is contagious. But I think it's also a conscious thing, Christ. I feel like I'm talking to Yeshua. It's like a conscious thing, Christ. When you are conscious of everyone, right? Because consciousness is another word like for yoga, right? It's like all sensing. When you're sensing everyone, then you're not in conflict with anyone else. Like I was telling Brother Paul this morning, which is a good example. I'm glad he posted that. He loves to try to, I don't say try to take me on. We just having conversations. I'm just not a debater. When he mentioned Bill Gates, I don't fight Bill Gates. I have a problem with Bill Gates' power. I don't have a problem with Bill Gates at all. He shouldn't have the power. We consented and gave him the power. I need to fight the Bill Gates empowering consent and sociopathy in my own mirror. That's the real fight. And that mother's a mother. That's the strongest God I know on this planet, is Gerard. He can be ignorant. He can be apathetic. He can be he's stubborn as hell. Stubborn as hell. You know, but that's where the real fight is. It's easy for me to go fight a Tony or fight a Christ or a Mark or a Betty or Debbie or Bo. It's easy for me to go pick on somebody and find a side effect fight. But to fight the root cause, that's the real fight. It's in the mirror. But cowardice is prolific, and that's why the news is always telling you who the enemy is. That's why you have corporations always telling you who the enemy is. That's why all the leaders, all the presidents, all the politicians, they have to make sure that they isolate an enemy. That's why the unscientific, sciencey corporations always find that enemy. Always find a virus, a boogeyman, a boogie virus. I think I'm gonna coin the boogie virus. I'm not gonna say cuckoo virus, no. I'm gonna the boogie virus. Because there's always a boogeyman. If they can treat you like Scooby-Doo and they know you roll over and do tricks like a hooker or jump for Scooby snacks, you know, then fear works. We have to have the courage to stand up and have no fear. Be a good slave. Yes, Courtney, they like to be good slaves. They got them Scooby snacks. Scooby snacks are delicious, you know. Delicious and nutritious. And Scooby just forgets all the time that under that mask, it's the same man. Every single episode is that same bastard. It's the same guy under every mask, under all the demons' mask. It's just us. It's just us. But if it's like yoga in consciousness and you're all sensing of everybody else, you can't be in conflict with your right arm. The right arm doesn't fight the left arm. Right? The right arm and the left arm know that they're part of the same human body, the same human society. You don't have a red and a blue, a DNC and a GOP, a right and a left. There are no different sides to the human species. We're either involved in species side or we're involved in creating something beautiful. Demons ride humans. Brenda, I think that's true. That's why I tell everybody to watch K-Pax. And people say that means that I support Kevin Spacey. And I'm just like, you're not listening. So watch K-Pax because it's a great example. And unfortunately, we only got one crony, colonizer, central managed Hollywood that's psychopathic. So we don't really have much other examples to go to. K-Pax was a great example. Does not mean I support Kevin Spacey. It's just usually when they put them on television, it's the ones they want on television. Right? It's the one they want you to see. All right. The whole industry is based in psychopathy. How about take on the whole industry? How about take on the model that creates the Kevin Spacey? Ignore the Kevin Spacey. But K-Pax was a great example. Demons ride humanity. But I think, Brenda, somebody had me thinking about it this morning. I think, though, it's based in an immunity issue. That's what I think it is. You know how, like, if you don't eat apples and vines and the weeds, you don't eat from food forests, but you eat from big corporations that could create poison crops and put poison on them and put them in your local grocery store? It weakens your immunity. It means parasites can take over. It means you got to be scared of viruses. It means you got to be scared of bacteria and E. coli that's cultivated on every cell phone that you fertilize with every time you go to the bathroom. You got to be scared. You can have a parasite that takes over your body biologically if your immune system isn't strong. Here's a scripture that goes something to the effect of put on the full armor of God, right? I think when spirituality, you're in the right place. I think when your immune system spiritually is in the right place. I think all things work together as above, so below. When not biologically, but spiritualogically, you're in the right zone. I think you have the ability to fight off spiritual parasites. Call them demonic possessions, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I think if your immunity is low, you're susceptible to darkness. You're susceptible to those things coming in you, and it can ride you and take you over. If you haven't watched K-Pax, you should watch it. But I think that's it. I think you got to build up your immune system at a biological level so you don't get colonized by a parasite, and you also got to build up your spirituality on that level too. I think the more you invoke in darkness, the more of those warrior genes are on, the more apathetic you are, the more anaerobic you are, spiritually maybe, like biologically, which allows anaerobic bacteria to take seat in certain places in your body and grow cancer. I think it works that way spiritually too. You know, I think if you're not strong, if you're not eating that good medicine, you're not surrounding around good people, you're not wishing people love and wishing them well, they're not wishing you well, I think it weakens your spiritual immunity and you can come under attack and something else dark can ride you. And why that makes sense to me, Brenda, is because I don't know a human being that can do the things that our leaders do. I don't know a human being that can do it. And I don't think the human beings are leaders. I think that once you engage in such darkness and power control systems written by men with wigs and feather pens thousands of years ago, you have to invoke that darkness and you take it on. It makes you susceptible to infection of dark energies. But I think that example fits. I think, you know, there is a biological and probably a spiritual immunity. Spirituality is your personal relationship with truth. Ooh, yeah, I love how you say that, Beaufont. Absolutely. Well, I think, you know, spirituality, science, religion, all these things, they're all the same thing, and people are trying to explain them in different ways. But the truth is the truth, right? You're either seeking the truth or you're not. From a science perspective or a religion perspective. Scripture, spirituality, whatever you want to call it. You're either seeking what's true or you're living a lie. And most of the people I know are living lies. Like they have scriptures that are locked in to a certain understanding at a certain time by a pope, a king, a lord, or whatever, and they won't evolve over time. You know, so I think the only thing that's really true is what's true. And when you realize what's false, you throw it out and you keep moving forward. And I think it is a personal thing. It's a personal thing because where Paul is at his truth is not where Arlene is with her truth, which is not where Susan is at her truth, or Kim is at with her truth, and Jonathan or Lily at her truth. And I think it's abusive for any of them to take their personal truth and deploy it on somebody else in a different stage or different walk or different perspective. I think we're all supposed to have different perspectives. I like how Sadhguru says it, where there's 7 billion different religions on their planet. They're supposed to be. When you let everybody be where they are, you know. But when you accept that, then I think you dip into that anarcho stuff that people. I love it. I think Yeshua Christ was an anarchist. I think God, whatever it is, who when it talked about free will, is an anarchist. Because when you got food, a place to live and land and free will, you become a beautiful creature. When you don't have that, you become a psychopath, and you go to preschool and you get good grades, you get that juice and cookies, you get yourself a job, and you do the best you can to take resources from other people. But it feels good because you're not holding the trigger, you're just holding the lever. I think free will is anarchism. That's what I was thinking about, Bo. I was thinking about this weekend. In between your little memes, I was thinking that free will is anarchism. Right? God, whatever it is, it has no interest in the control systems of the Caesars. It has no interest in these systems. He attempts to control other people by force. I like the law of nature being free will, right? Because if we take care of the Mike Russos, then they become amazing Mike Russos. If we abuse the Mike Russos, then they become pretty aggressive. Those warrior genes get turned on. And I think the system is perfect that way. We're either fixing the environment or we're making everything worse. And I think to wrap that up, because I guess pedophilia is the thing now. It's the thing everybody's talking about. To wrap that up, it's a side effect. Rape is a side effect. War is a side effect. Abuse is a side effect. Crime is a side effect. And I'm not interested in fighting side effects. I think they're check engine lights to add on to what we were saying about a week ago. I think they're just check engine lights, and it's telling you that something's not going right in your society. You're either diagnosing from a scientific perspective what happened to that person to fix the problem so it's not making more people, or you're fighting it, which is what your leaders tell you to do, to keep the system in place. Because they like the environment and they thrive in it. Their minds are seared with a lot of iron. We're talking about stubbornness, Tony. Stubbornness is a thing. You need equal creation and destruction in minimum to maintain a balance. Absolutely, Paul. Absolutely, Paul Brady. It's like good and evil. There is no good and evil. There's just, you know what? Let's think about it like that. Because I like how somebody said, Anthony, I think. He said there's only sustainability and unsustainability. The way you said it works perfectly just as well. There's destruction and creation. And destruction makes creators better at creating. And if you can look at destruction, you can look at, abuse and rape and pedophilia and violence and the little monsters that become adult monsters that we turn children into. It makes us better at creating. Destruction drives creation. Creators should be constantly getting better, not becoming destructors like Christine is talking about. You become what you fight, right? The yin and the yang. Destruction should be driving creation to be more creative and more creative and more creative. And every generation gets better and better and freer and freer and freer, not more destructive and more police state and more laws and less freedoms and destroying everything. Absolutely. I love the way you said it. It makes perfectly good sense, Paul. I ordered mushroom spores. I'm going to inoculate the woods near my house one time. Should bring yields for years for everyone stewarding my small part. Yes, Susan, you're doing a wonderful small part and you brag about it very well. Thank you. I'm gonna be mad at Susan until she makes me a pasta. She likes to go collecting the wild mushrooms and posting on them. Well, if that works out, you need to post how to do that, Susan. I need to know how to get certain kind of mushrooms grown here. I always have all kind of different mushrooms, and I post them for fun. And people are like, oh, are you going to eat that? And if you know me, you know ain't no damn way on this planet I'm eating anything that looks like a penis that grows out the ground. It just ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Did y'all see that one I posted this weekend? Oh, my goodness. Let me show you this thing. This thing that came out the ground looked like a willy. It was growing out the side of my mulch. Nah, like I said, if zombies are chasing me, if in my zombie apocalypse gang, I know got people who know what penises that grow out the ground to eat, then okay, we're good to go. But you can't eat every penis, people. You cannot do that. That's gonna go bad for you. Speaking of pimping and hookering, yeah, no, you cannot do that. That's gonna end up bad for you. I posted this thing, I looked at it, I was just like, you know what? I was like, that is hilarious. Let me see if I can find it. I posted a bunch this week. Oh, did y'all see, outside of the penis mushroom thing? Did y'all see this right? It's a man, it's not a man thing. It's a, and I don't even like the word straight. I don't even like that word. It's a guy who likes woman things. We like woman things. We don't like the Peter things. We don't like nothing that look like. I don't want to eat them. I don't like it with my eggs, my salad, my green eggs and ham. I don't want nothing nowhere around me. Oh, look at this. Let me show you this. Who did this? Brother Jonathan. I appreciate this. This is important. Oh, Brother Jonathan. Is Jonathan still here? He went to, I think he's in Arizona. He's down there in a place I never lived because y'all ain't got no water. Water is necessary for Gerard to survive and thrive. It's too dry down there. He went down there and took pictures of the rocks. Y'all see the rocks? They don't protect them. These were the ancient. John, you gotta give me any history on these. But you look at them and you try to determine what they are. The ancients, long time ago, created rock structures and wrote and drew pictures on them to let the monkeys know that come later what they need to be concerned with and whatnot. At a time where monkeys could not read and write. And I looked at some of these and somebody said that's the stairway of heaven. I don't know. I don't know about the stairway of heaven on that one. Because if you look at this right here, that looks like an alien falling down some steps. Like the alien came from steps or something. It look like it could be a horse too. I don't know. I was going through these and these are interesting. This is like history that's forgotten. I don't know what that is. That looked a little crazy. But this was interesting. What amazed me though, because I love archaeology, I love whatever the elders created and handed down to us, is I look at it and I don't know. It's a dead horse. To me, it kind of looks like there's an alien eating a horse from the back of its neck. Beware of that. But these are interesting. I'm fascinated by them. I don't know what that is. There's some stars and somebody riding on the back of a dinosaur or something. I don't know. I found this to be interesting. But it would amaze me that they don't actually protect it, that it's just sitting out in the open and it's big. Oh, that's definitely a Klingon battleship. You know what that is. Y'all, if you ever watch right here, you see that? That's a Klingon battleship. That means the Klingons have been here. But you know what? If you believe in string theory, then you know what I'm saying is true. That then there is a dimension for everything everywhere. That there's infinite planet, infinite dimensions. Right now, there's a planet somewhere where Jonathan Close is Bill Gates. Right now, he's trying to sell you some shots to cure you from the environment, to cure you from nature. No, these were interesting. I was kind of clicking through them, but let me go to some other stuff. His name is Jesus. Is his name Jesus? But was the blood of the sacrifice for forgiveness of sin was real, wasn't it? Ooh, Tommy. But the blood sacrifice. My problem, Tommy, is that these scriptures have been changed over time. They've been changed, and I don't know what's real anymore, and I don't want to convince anybody that I think I know what's real. I do think that Yeshua Christ or Jesus, whatever his name is, whatever, because they like to change the names. We know cultural appropriation. They've been doing that a long time. I think it came here to break us away from what religion was doing, right? Like in some of the scripture, it says, Christ came to wage war against the church, to bring a sword against the Sadducees and the Pharisees. And for some reason, people decided to put the Old Testament and hook it up to the New. Christ came to destroy the old law and create a new law based in grace and mercy and love, right? I think that those things have been changed so much. Probably offering up an idea may not be helpful. I think the bottom line is if we're trying to live in the way that this Christ person, creature, whatever it is, consciousness live, then I think that's all that's really important. I was raised in the church and the blood of Jesus, you know, and all of that, and the wine and the cookies, the wine and the bread. And I think I did a video a little while ago where I kind of thought about it, and I just don't think it's a good idea to do the sacrament. I don't think it's a good idea to do the eating the blood in the body, because I never thought about it from a satanic perspective. Like I never thought about it from a cannibalistic perspective. I never thought about it from an energy perspective where you're literally speaking that you're eating a person's body and you're drinking their blood. Like, I don't think that came from anything that we should be supporting, right? Like, to me, that's very cannibalistic, satanic, ritualistic, that a church is locked into because it enjoys the tradition, right? So I don't know what, I don't know what other people believe. So I don't think the whole blood of Christ thing, I mean, is blood an important thing? Yeah, it is. I mean, it gives us life, right? You got the right bacteria and biology and viruses in your bloodstream, then you're a very strong and powerful creature. Your immune system is powerful, and no force forged against you from nature will prosper. But I think the important thing when it comes to the Christian faith and Yeshua Christ or Jesus, whatever, is that you're supposed to love everybody. You're supposed to take care of everybody. Like, I think those are the important things. I think you can dig deeper. I guess where I'm going with that is, I guess you can dig deeper from an academic perspective. I find that all to be interesting, and sometimes I partake in that. But right now, we do need more people to come together to put the Garden of Eden back together. We need more people with less reason to be tribal and conflict over scriptures that were written thousands of years that people have changed factually over the time. And that the only thing important is to love one another. The only thing important is to treat everybody how you want to be treated. The only important thing is when a blind person comes to you, try to help them see. If a hungry person comes to you, you feed them. If someone comes to you, they need land, you give them land. I think someone said it not too long ago that we're so consumed with the messenger, we forgot the message, right? And that's why I don't really consider myself a part of the Christian faith. I consider myself to be somebody who's trying to be Christ-like, which means I have to mostly go against the Christian faith, but not against, but they're too far from the path of what the things Christ did, right? Like in my nation, we got this group called the conservatives. And if I were still deep in the church, I'd be conservative. But the more you think about the actions of Christ and what Christ said, Yeshua, the less the people who carry them Bibles nowadays are even close to it, right? In terms of just loving each other and seeing to each other's needs, right? We're in bad times. Which are the conservatives or the liberals? Because they go to church too. They just go to a different church. They go to church, the wood on the floor is shaking and people in the crowd are screaming and they're singing and make you feeling good, make you want to do some flips, jump and stuff like that. We got people who are starving and live under our cities, right? Morlocks. We have people being raped how often does a woman get raped in America? It's something like every 3 seconds or something. That's not a problem, right? How often does somebody get abused, right? Do these women need protection? Do they need somebody in government finally saying, you know what? We've created an environment that's ill. We've created an environment that's anaerobic. We've created an environment that cultivates demons and psychopaths and Satanists, or people that do these acts because they're colonized by demons and psychos and psychopaths. Maybe we shouldn't continue this direction anymore. Things aren't getting better. We're just covering up the worst better, right? And that's why I can't agree with anything going back to normal. I think back to normal is hell. I think if you have a country that's supposed to be for, of, and by the people, and the people can't even own land, that we're okay with people dying and starving without food, we're okay with police manhandling women and little children and shooting them in the streets, we're okay with putting them in big cages, and this God thing keeps saying you need free will and all Christ did was help people. You know, I don't like the word universal health care, but Christ didn't say, no, you got to pay for it, right? When somebody came to Christ, what did they do? They healed them, period, end of story, right? People debate around the tax of universal health care, and I don't believe in taxes. I don't believe in universal health care. I believe in if somebody has a need and you got that need, you give it to them. That's what I believe in, and that's what Christ teaches. But that's not what people who claim religions are doing. So yeah, I try to avoid the dogma. I try to avoid it because I don't believe in being in conflict over who is the least of the evils. The least of the evils. So I was talking to Brother Donnell about that. Who are the least of the evils? Because I was just basically saying, no, I can't vote. I can't do it. You know, maybe if I do, it'll be for my sheriff, only because the sheriff said he's going to protect the Constitution, but I'm going to put an X on everybody else. Because I don't want normal to return. Hell needs to burn. Hell needs to burn, and this is hell. And there are no least of the evils. There's no lesser demon. Either it's a demon or it's not, right? I think the demons, they create these weird identity narratives so you think they're a lesser demon, but they're never a lesser demon. They're just more demonic to somebody else, and you're okay with that. And so they tap into your apathy, and you think the Democrats are the less demon than the Republicans, or the Republicans are less demon than the Democrats. And all you're really doing is they're tapping into your apathy, and they're giving you a narrative because they're less demonic to you and more demonic to somebody else. And I don't think anybody has anything to do with trying to be Christ-like, has anything to do with that. A demon is a demon. And that's why I was trying to process, like, what does somebody mean when they say a lesser evil? There are no lesser evil. It's just evil. It's just evil. Evil is there to create an environment where evil will thrive. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm not interested in voting. I'm not interested in propping up a system that needs to burn. We are in hell. I kind of believe that. I back to the blood and savior thing. I think that we were told, I think there's a lot more metaphorical stuff that's in the scriptures than what we understand. And I think, you know, we were basically told that we need to save ourselves. I think we were told that you know, that he could have been a savior for the message. But at that same token, Shiva, Buddha, and with the different Buddhas, they had the same basic message, which was love one another, take care of one another, right? If you don't learn to work together, natural law has the same principles of nature and balance that Christ was talking about. Christ Henderson, not Christ, right? And that God is from within. That whole Gnosticism thing that only we can save ourselves and only we can wage war against the darkest demons, and that's only in our mirror, right? You can't judge Shiva for the log in his eye, for the sawdust in his eye, for the log in yours. I can't judge Bill Gates for the sawdust in his eye, and I got a log in mine. I got to deal with my demons. I can't deal with other people's demons. I have nothing to do with Jonathan's demons or Beaufont's or Christ or Hillary or Kim or Jimmy. The only way I can deal with their demons is by force. I got to violate a law in nature to fix something in them that I don't even understand. Right? I don't understand the narcissism of Beaufont Savant. What am I supposed to do with that? I know the man crazy as hell. I can't understand Beaufont. Right? I never went to a philosophical school that would give me a PhD in what's wrong with Beaufont. I don't know what's wrong with him. I just look at his memes and I know something wrong with that man. But he's funny as hell. But like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, I have not done degree work in Beaufont. How would I know what's wrong, what he needs to do, where he needs to go, who he needs to do it to, or why he needs to do it? Right? That's just me being a psychopath. That's me trying to tell other people that I can fix them. That's me like stepping on that throne of God and me claiming I know things that I obviously have no damn idea. So obviously I have no idea what's wrong with Bo Fine. Come on now. He posts videos of okra and stuff, man. The guy crazy. He crazy. I don't think he should be in a straitjacket, but damn it, I don't know if he should be on the loose neither. All right, I'm sorry. I'm just picking up Bo Fine. No, I don't think you can control other people. And I think all these narratives in religion and politics and nations and all this stuff, it's designed to get your energy. It's designed to get you to spend time doing something that's in violation of the laws of nature, Christ, Buddha, Islam, Muslim, against all of them. Right? If Lori is a god, a goddess, then I'm not even, there are no bachelor degrees in what Lori needs to do. Right? Only Lori knows Lori. Only Lori knows what's in Lori's mind. Only Lori knows what Lori needs to work on. That's why I like this idea that the greatest fight is in your mirror. Everything else is cowardice. Everything else is trying to take problems that you consent to and fix them in somebody else's mirror. We are the environment. We are the environment, Christ. We absolutely are. Hang on, let me go down. There might have been a few things. Oh, I got to show you this. I got to show you how I lost some friends this weekend. Right here, right there. I lost me a couple friends. I got me new friends. I'm okay with it. All right, you don't have to agree with what I say. You know, you want to unfriend me, you can. I honestly don't care. I love you, but I'm more interested in people who want to partake in a discussion of how do we fix hell? How do we turn hell into a heaven? I'm not interested in any side of your hell. I'm not interested in a leader. I don't need to be led. I don't need a chaperone on earth. I don't need anybody to tell me who the enemy is. One of my basic core principles is that you know who your enemy is. It's the person that shows up and tries to tell you who the enemy should be. So I'm not interested in none of that. I'm not interested in the red, nor the blue, nor the black, nor the green, nor the purple, nor any of that stuff. It's a great meme, isn't it, Jonathan Close? Because you get the monkeys together. And anytime people see monkeys on the internet, they tag me. I believe in science and religion, and we came from monkeys. I don't care what anybody has to say. Science and religion both agree. 98%. Got that 2% from somebody else. You're either invoking that 98% to get you off there fighting other people, like this is a Twilight Zone episode that ends well. Y'all ever watch the Twilight Zone? How many of them episodes ended well? I know y'all watched the Twilight Zone. Don't act like you ain't watched the Twilight Zone. None of them episodes ended well. They always ended up dark. All right? Right? This is the Twilight Zone. You are here. Now, we're either going to make this the Partridge Family, we're going to make it this old house, we're going to make it some silver spoons, or we're going to keep waiting to see how this ends, playing fight each other, being the most powerful narcissist in the mirror. Monkey World. Oh, I'm watching 12 Monkeys too. 12 Monkeys is a good show. 12 Monkeys is something. Oh, y'all got to watch 12 Monkeys. Y'all watch 12 Monkeys? Not the movie. Not the movie, the series. Yes, Black Mirror 2, Hillary. If y'all don't watch 12 Monkeys and Black Mirror 2, you need to watch it. 12 Monkeys, fantastic. Oh, does it apply today? Oh, it applies today. So, and such amazing good quotes. You know, but if you live on a planet where you're still cheering for a government to make bioweapons, you're just waiting for your extinction to come. Viruses are healthy, delicious, and nutritious. And if you don't get yours, you're going to be sicker. If you live in a time where you're making bioweapons that can murder every man, woman, and child on this planet, and you think that's a good idea, just waiting for the end. They're paying for it. Ooh, I'm gonna show you this post. I like this one too. That one right there. They're there. They were tricked into breaking the global reserve currency. The plants gave me this one too. I was in the garden, the plants gave me this one. I don't know why they speak to me. They do, but they do. All right. You see what happened, right? I think let's pretend for a minute that the government's good people. Let's pretend for a minute that they're just people and they get a job, and the only way they keep the job is by taking money and doing what corporations tell them to do. Let's just pretend that's the case and they mean well. When they get that phone call from big pharma and big medical and big banking and big whoever and say, hey, you got to shut down the country. And they shut down the country. Maybe they were just tricked. Maybe they were just tricked by global bankers. Maybe they don't follow banking and economics. Maybe they don't know what a fiat currency is. But they damn sure collapsed the nation. They collapsed. They destroyed the GDP. Now what are they doing? They're not admitting they made a mistake. They're deciding to pay for their mistake with your freedom, right? They're going to take your freedoms and continue this path of what the corporations want. Right? They want to give you their mandatory products. They want to mandatory test you. They want to sell drones that fly in the air to check your heat maps. They want to do anything they can to control you, right? So instead of admitting their mistake and them paying for it, they're pretending it wasn't a mistake and they're making you pay for it by taking your freedom. That's how they're going to pay for it, and that's how the billionaire banks want them to pay for it, right? That's all, at the end of the day, that's all they want. They want the power and the profit, right? The banks and corporations. And how do they get the power and the profit? From people who live in a democracy. You got to get people so scared they're willing to give up their freedoms. And that's what's happening right now. They got people so scared, and the more scared you are, the more of your rights you're going to lose, and those corporations are going to get what they wanted, who set this whole thing up. That's how I know that you have a government that's working for you, if they admit they're tricked, instead of a corporation that does what they're told. The creator of the universe does not require blood. Ooh, if someone's God, it flew up. I think that was Anna who posted that. Yes, and it could. That's why I love smart people. You know, a God, what does a God need your blood for? What does a God need to give up blood to save you? Why does that make, if a God is making universes and solar systems, and it's a simulator creator and just creating all of this and the rules beyond microbiology and bacteria and viruses and how human beings update the system, and it's doing this in endless dimensions, in endless galaxies, on endless planets and solar systems, and probably multiple universes, it doesn't have any interest in your worship. It doesn't need you to worship it. It don't need your blood. It doesn't need you to think about somebody else's blood. It just doesn't make any sense to me, right? So I'm not saying what you believe in true to anybody else. I'm just saying, when I think about the things I was raised to believe, it doesn't make any damn sense. And if it doesn't make any damn sense, I got to kind of start to shift and go another way. My religion is more of a science than anything else. If it works and it makes some sense, then let's do that. If it does not, then I can't spend any time wasting on it. Right? It could be stuff that kings and lords just put in there to control people. And while it might be true, I'm a focus more on not violating the things that I was told to do, the things that are Christ-like, the things that everybody on this planet agrees with, that's not in a psychopathic space. Love thy neighbor, care for thy labor, not go to thy Caesar to take thy neighbor's rights. To not go to thine Caesars, to render under Caesar what is Caesar's, and unto God's what is God's. And your neighbor belongs to God, not you. You can't go to thine Caesar and stop them from getting roosters because they got a police state. That's violence. That's violation. That's a sin. You are literally using violence to abuse your neighbor, right? And people die because you use a system. And there's thou shalt not kill. Nah, that's what I'm saying. I don't have any interest in Caesar systems. I don't believe in Caesar systems. I believe in Caesar salad. That's why I got lettuce growing all out outside. Which is why I'm gonna have to get off of here in a minute. David Icke has it right. He knows. I think he does, Patricia, which is why he's not allowed to say nothing on the internet. Anyone who gets deleted from the billionaires' internet obviously is not helping enough of the billionaires. I think if you offend some billionaires, you can have a voice. You offend them all, you will have no voice. They will delete every page you got. They'll delete everything you got. I do think things on that level work the same way they do on our level. If you make an enemy of your whole neighborhood, your neighbors are just going to come with torches and just burn your house down. They're going to get rid of you. Like JFK. JFK took on all the neighbors, and so they killed him. He took on central banking and the Rothschilds and Israel and nuclear weapons. He took on all of that. And by Israel, let's clarify, because some people think that you're talking about Jewish people. I'm not. I love Jewish people. All Jewish people are my people. Those are my cousins. No, I love them to death. Even the Zionists are, right? It's the control system that's the problem, but I don't really have anything negative to say about Israel, to be honest with you, because I'm in America. And Israel, y'all gonna have to get up real early in the morning to murder more people than the Pentagon. Okay? You had to get up real early in the morning. Ooh, did y'all see that? What do y'all think about that video? Did y'all see the video of the airplane? I don't know if I can show it. Not the airplane. That was a RC airplane. If it was an airplane crashing into the Pentagon, did y'all see that? Woo! I'm not sure. Did they delete it? Is it still up there? I think it came from Brother Tatsu. And then people go off. I posted it and I tried to tell people ahead of time. So I really don't care if you think that this is photoshopped or not. We already know what happened. And if this is a reenactment or a real video of a missile hitting the Pentagon, I honestly don't care. I honestly don't care. We know what happened. The military told us what happened. You got enough friends in the military, and they'll tell you off record what they know. Like General Stubblebine, right? That was a missile that hit that building, right? And I think they even said it was short range missile. So for me, whether it's a reenactment or a Photoshop or it's the real video released, we've already been told what happened at 9/11. We just haven't decided to do anything about it. Most people want the normal back. Most people want a normal back of a corporation that's designed to look like a government that literally drops building on its own people and on foreign people whenever profit calls. No. I don't want that normal. That normal needs to go. There are enough whistleblowers that tell us that. It was a good, I saw the video. I mean, it's not a clear video, but you can see the video online. There is G. Some of the coded language is known. Other parts of it are still lost. Absolutely. You talking about the scriptures, Jonathan? Oh, a lot of it's lost. Are you a New World Order lockstepper follower, or are you a freedom fighter? I think those are the only choices, Lori. I think at the root level, you either agree with control or you don't. You agree with a controlled Garden of Eden where we're not stewarded, but it's being highly dominated and controlled, or you just believe in freedom. I don't think there's any really place in the middle. You believe in free will, you believe in people being free, becoming beautiful things, or you believe in forcing them to be like you because you think you're right, which will usually land us in a control of a system that will be run by psychopathic billionaires controlling us all. You know, like at the root level, what do you believe? I think that's a good way to ask it. Absolutely good way to ask it. Let's see if I have this. Nope, it's not there. Not there. Not there. I'm gonna try to see if I got this video for you. Oh my goodness, our frequency changes the network we realign with. It connects theories and spirituality. Yeah, well, Kim, right, everything's connected. Everything is energy and vibration. Absolutely, positively, totally agree. I'm trying to see if I can show you this video, if I can find it, for those of y'all who didn't see it, so you can debate about whether or not it's photoshopped or not. And you know, these people, they literally called airplanes back from the USS Liberty. You know, when I really stopped disagreeing with the USS Liberty's 9/11 not being an outside job is when I heard about the USS Liberty. If you go listen to the testimony of the USS Liberty, here it go. If you go listen to the testimony of the USS Liberty, it'll change your day. It ruined my day. The only thing that ruined my day worse than listening to the testimony of the USS Liberty and soldiers crying for help and their nation not coming to their help. The Navy sailors and the NSA guys who were on that boat hoping that their brothers and sisters in arms would come save them from being attacked by those jets. The only thing that ruined my day more than that was the Khalif Browder documentary. That was the only thing that ruined my day more. But it's important to have your day ruined. I tell people all the time, you know how we say have a good day? Somebody just wish me have a good day. Yes, have a good day, but also have your day ruined too. Because other people have really, really bad days because we have really, really apathetically privileged lives. And so it's important that we ruin our day and we see things that we don't want to see. Otherwise, nothing changes. Here you go, right here. Here you go. That's it right there. See a missile coming from the low corner and it hits the building. Boom! Doesn't really matter to me if that's a real video or not. We know what's true. We know what's true. You ever been to Washington, D.C.? How many cameras around Washington, D.C.? Okay? They're everywhere. Everywhere. You're going to try and tell me there's no video of a plane flying low? Nobody saw it. Nobody took pictures of it. And it hit the Pentagon? Stop it. Stop it. Stop. You can't get nowhere near close to that Pentagon. You know, somebody turned off the video cameras at the Pentagon. Someone either somehow scrubbed the internet of every single video from every single bodega and pizza shop and deli and McDonald's and parking lot that has cameras that would see a low-flying airplane, or it wasn't an airplane. Okay? That alone, I think, is enough for people who wanted to kind of, or should want to step back and just say, you know what? We know a lot less than what we need to know about our government. And this is why you have whistleblowers, to try to tell you what's happening behind the scenes so we can change our behavior. Y'all are discussing it. So no New World Order and me, Jonathan Close. Y'all going back, y'all talking about the New World Order? Hillary said that was a powerful image. It is a powerful image, Hillary, because don't nobody like to be no monkeys. That's why I remind people all the time, we're the dust of the earth. We're just some monkeys. Something came here and made us from the dust of the earth. People don't like to be monkeys. So I think it was a great depiction of reality, which is you're all being controlled. You know, we're either acting like a troop of monkeys lost in evolution, or we're acting like we're human beings. Brother G, you put your balance in some, I despaired. All right, I'm sorry, Patricia. I'm going down the comments. I'm gonna get out of here. Our genetics is not of this planet. The monkeys do not possess the practical DNA. Well, not 98%, Jimmy. 98%, because what we're 98% we have in common with monkeys, and is it 80-some% with cows? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, and 60% with bananas. We are made from the dust of the earth, but we also have something else that's stitched in. And that makes sense to me, Jimmy, from the perspective of all microbiology drive all life, and you couldn't live here unless you were made from the microbiology, the dust that actually is from here. You would just die. They'd kill you. All life is driven by microbes, microbiology. That's why it's ridiculous and stupid-taculous that anybody's out there running and waging a war on microbiology in any way, form, shape, or size. Whether that be pest and garden with pesticides or shots with fighting viruses. To me, that makes no damn sense. You're a part of the ecosystem. You're a part of nature. And we're made from nature, and we exist in nature. But I was thinking about Jimmy this weekend and getting the food forest together. I was thinking about how the microbes drive all life. I was thinking about Dr. Bush, Zach Bush, who gave that great talk. I think that the aliens look just like us. That's what I think. I think if all microbes drive life, and you got aerobic and anaerobic bacteria all over the solar system, panspermia, it's spreading. Single cell organisms create multicellular create something that works best in the physics of the environment they belong to, with gravity, and all the planets in most of the galaxy have the same elements on them as we have. Then, like, churning all that up over billions of years. I think most of the microbiology, given gravity, is going to make most creatures with 2 legs, hominids. Most of them probably gonna have big heads like us, and these are the biggest heads that can fit out the womb. Like, that's why our heads are this big. Like, we'd be smart like the alien grays with the big wide heads if that could fit out the womb, but they can't. And I think they talk about how the alien grays are they're just software, they're biological software, they're drones or something. And it all kind of makes sense to me that most life in the solar system looks like us. And there's a whistleblower who says that is it Clifford Stone, someone who said that most life that the American government knows about in the solar system, and the British government, Russian government, that they all just look like us. They all look like they're human. That you could be eating lunch right next to one and you would never know any difference. And that actually makes sense to me. Because if microbiology drives all that, and microbiology is the same on all the planets, and the competition-based systems for energy and making multicellular organisms, it would really come to the same conclusion that 2 legs and 2 arms, some fingers, opposable thumbs, a mouth, and a head about this size that comes from a womb that's going to fit in the size of the gravity of a planet around a sun, a plasma ball that creates free energy and sends it down to you, it would make sense that really are no aliens, right? Like continent to continent, that we think that their aliens were always on the next continent or the next solar system or next planet. I think that whatever created us knew that it had to create us from the dust of this planet, or we wouldn't make it, from the specific microbes where they are in evolution on this planet. But I think over the long run, we're all going to end up looking the same way. That's what I kind of think. I gotta go. Sounds communist. Yeah, Jimmy, I think there's good in all the systems. I think there's good in capitalism, there's good in communism, there's good in socialism, but they're just ignorantly controlling enough that good will never come out of them. People say Jesus was a socialist. No, I think socialism just came from some of the concepts that people got from a guy who said love everybody and take care of everybody. And they tried to figure out how to make that into a control system to control everybody. And they came up with communism, right? Because the king wants to be at the top, and the king wants to disseminate the resources to the people to control them. And I think the anarchism that you get with Christ is how that works. Everybody should have what everybody should have based on where we are in technology at the time. And nobody needs to disseminate it to anybody to maintain power. It's like I was listening to a talk, Jimmy. Who was talking? Neil deGrasse Tyson and the other AI scientists, or the AI scientists were coming together having a discussion. And largely, I can only listen about 20 minutes because it drives me crazy. Unfortunately, I work with learning software, and I will tell you this, is people getting paychecks to create the learning software will always tell you it's safe. And those who don't, they'll always tell you AI is way down the road. That's exactly what they're going to tell you because their job is based on. They want the paycheck, and the paycheck is based on them not discovering that this is a problematic thing. And it works the same way in the medical industry. One of the arguments was whether or not AI would try to kill us. And to me, that's not even a question. Whether or not AI would take our jobs. And these aren't even questions. These are ignorant. I don't even know the word for it. Ignorant doesn't do it. It's like saying, okay, so AI or learning software, we'll stop there. Learning software does a better job at everything humans have learned to do with physics, right? From a physical perspective with your hands, right? Creativity might be another discussion. I think it will. What I've seen is that AI, it has the ability to create neuron type connections in a database, right? With sub databases connected together with procedures that mimics the human brain. So they definitely should be able to become as creative as you down the road. But just from a physical perspective, they can do our jobs better than us and more efficient than us. Saying AI wouldn't replace every function of the human being is the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my life, right? That's saying that wheels aren't on every car on the street, right? Like somebody invented a wheel, let's call that learning software, and it's just more efficient than carts. The idea that carts would still exist is stupid, right? Because, who would carry a cart when having a wheel on a cart's more efficient, right? Whatever is more efficient will win out from a microbiology, multicellular organism perspective, as well as from a human perspective. Whatever is most efficient will always rule, which is why there's no real conflict in my mind, when it comes to AI and robots. They're either going to serve the human race or they're going to kill the human race, but they can do all of our jobs better than all of us, right? If we continue to fight over politics, that's just handing everything to the robots. Right? To say that in the future robots won't replace humans is to say that there are cars that don't have wheels. It's the most efficient means of conveyance and carrying things on a cart. Right? Those things are coming and we're not going to stop them. The only real question is, are we going to set up a world that allows us to live with them and us maintain control or them maintain control. All right. Want your kids to grow up in FEMA camps, Lori? Most people do, yes. Simple answer, yes. Most people act like it, so they still do. They're still supporting the system, so they want their kids to be little FEMA brats. Maybe the world owners are trying to live forever and harvest the organs, and they need blood. That could be no clip. I believe in vampires. It makes perfectly good sense. If you can take a mice that's old and dying and give it blood from a young mouse and make the old mouse have brown hair, become fertile again and young and restless and start breeding again, then vampirism is not a theory. It is a very efficient way of staying young, just like AI and robots in the wheel, right? So yeah, vampirism is a very real thing. Do I understand it? No, but I do know if you take an old person, hook them up to a young person, an old person, will the stem cells reactivate? Is that what that doctor in Panama is doing? So it could be that they want our blood, but I think vampirism is a real thing. And people are harvesting kids. There's no question about that. No question. To stay young forever or to stay young for a lot longer. No mandatory vaccines. Yeah, Daniel, well, it's a crime. It's a crime internationally, and it's a crime against the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. The question is whether or not people are scared enough to throw away their right to free will and their freedom to decide because they're scared of something that they don't understand called a virus. They've been tracking us since the FRN tracking numbers. Yes, Mark, of course. I mean, technology is always used to track us because you can't control what you can't track. They want to track us and control us the same way most people put those tracking devices on their dogs or their cars or their kids so they know where they are so they can control them better. So, of course, the government wants to do that as well. So how do we become perfect, Tommy? I don't think perfection's a thing. I think getting better is a lifestyle, but we'll never be perfect. Or maybe we'll be perfect when we go back to being the energy simulation creator oneness thing, but never here. Here, it's about the voyage, it seems. I've heard that the sleeping dragon will reawaken and rise, China. That would make sense, Christ. It seems that we got played, or our leaders got played. I didn't get played. I knew this was coming. But, you know, China did the whole Wuhan thing, and our leaders got told to shut down the government. They shut down the government. Personally, I think they got played, and China just wanted to be the predominant on the world stage, and right now they are. So I think the yuan is probably going to take on more strength than the dollar. Between that and the rupee might become the world's reserve currency. They have more buying power than we have. They manufacture things, and the world needs them a lot more than it needs us. America could disappear and the world would blink tomorrow and wouldn't even know the difference. But China is making everything. So I think that they are reawakening, and I think they tricked, well, I don't think they tricked. I think something higher up kind of decides those things, like a central bank, and the central bank doesn't care if China's in the lead or America is, but America doesn't make anything. So I think China's just taking that position on the world stage, and I don't think there's anything Donald Trump or Republicans or Democrats can do to stop that. I think the people in China realize they got everything in line, or everything related to everybody in America and everybody in America and China, and we decide that the compulsion by force systems don't get to exist anymore, then we don't have to worry about China. You know, we're all just a family spread across the world. Short of that, the Chinese are going to work hard for their government, and they're going to build up a police state similar to America, but they're seeming to be going the technological route a lot faster than what we are. So I think they are rising. Truth tellers have nothing to hide. Yeah, the truth has nothing to hide and doesn't have to defend itself, does it, Lori? The truth is just the truth. It doesn't need a defense. It just is. And that's why the only thing you can do with it is censor it or delete it. You can't combat it. That's why they come up with this idea that that's a good idea to censor. And censoring a thing is just basically the admission that you don't have anything to refute it. You only censor a thing because you're trying to abuse people. You don't have a factual rebuttal for it. So the answer is that I need to save people from the truth, and I need to hide it from them because they might hurt themselves on the truth. No, it's a tool of the abuser. You know, like the abusive spouse. The first thing they got to do is silence their spouse. They have to take the truthful things away, which usually is you got a right to not being hit up against the head. But that's what social media does, because social media is not there to give you the truth. It's just there to control you. It's a weapon. Gerard, did you read the first fully autonomous soft robot called the October Search? Hindenburg, Weiss, Boots Bioengineering, Air Innovation, article in Harvard's magazine. I can tell you, Miss Tree, by how the fact that I couldn't pronounce most of those words, I did not read it. Tell me about it. Entire article is fascinating and crazy. Thank you, Miss Tree. I worked in it in the. I don't know if I mentioned I worked in the environment. I worked in the IT field. Worked with predictive analysis software. What I saw already scared the hell out of me. I'm not sure you can scare me any more than what I already understand. We should not be doing any of the things that we're doing. We absolutely need to hand the world back to people and take it away from these psychopaths. If there is a such thing as a leader, it needs to be somebody who's stewarding, not somebody using force to control. When you run into bad times, it's a government that starts handing out land and chickens and seeds and things that human beings need to protect themselves to keep them safe. Not a government creating stimulus for billionaires on Wall Street. But in general, yeah, I don't agree with the by force system. All right, I gotta go. You're phenomenal. Thank you, Lily. I'm not phenomenal. I just listen to what other smart people say, and if it makes sense, I adopt it, right? Like I try to treat my life like science, right? Like this is an experiment. I have hypothesis, and I'll give it a shot, and I'm wrong a lot. When I'm wrong, but I let myself be wrong because I love myself. People who can't let themselves be wrong, they don't ever learn. They don't ever grow. So no, I'm definitely not phenomenal. I know me. Lily, I got a picture this weekend of me playing with a worm. I took a picture with it. I did a selfie with a worm. Something's wrong with me, but I love nature. No, I think that I'm a default human. No, maybe I might almost be default. I think human beings allow themselves to be wrong to get better. And if what I'm saying here seems like it's anything phenomenal, I just think it's because society is so broken. There are a lot of people here who kind of taken on a new lot in life, which is, nah, we're not right. We're just trying to figure this thing out. That's all we're trying to do. And as we figure it out, we're not gonna abuse people anymore. We're not gonna try to tell other people what to do. We're not gonna force our will on them because we think we're right. We're gonna say what we think, live scientifically, and once we find there's a deeper truth than what we were holding, then we're gonna run with that truth. It usually means that we just don't get to have stable social media pages. The new PSYOP, FI or FAQ exactly. Well, everything is a PSYOP, Brother Mark. I think Q has said some truthful things and some wrong things. In general, I'm hesitant on the Q because I don't think leaders are fighting what's existed in government since the beginning of time. Like the very core belief in abusing. It's the pedophilia part that gets me, Mark. I don't agree with that. I don't think that people who believe in power will fight pedophilia, because pedophilia is just an aspect of power, right? Rape is an aspect of power. Abuse is an aspect of power. And if you want a job or you work in a system that's based in abusing people with power because you got a Pentagon or more people on your side voting, then you at a principal level, you don't have any problems with pedophilia. And a lot of people don't agree with that, Mark, and I'm okay with that. That's fine. They can agree with whatever they agree with. Abuse is abuse, and its expression is just about the environment you're in, and it being seen like a good idea. You believe in abuse or you don't. That's all. All right, I gotta get going. I gotta go. I got gardening to do, and I'm losing my voice. My oldest boy has a brown eyes with a dark brown birthmark on his iris. Ooh, something about eyes, Susan. Eyes are weird and creepy. Eyes are weird and creepy. The only thing weird and creepier than human eyes are goat eyes, Susan. I still got these goats that just watch me grow food. They watch me farm. They just stare at me. They're my neighbors, though. Goats are so creepy. They just stare at you from a distance. And they don't even move. They just sit there and look at you. And I'm looking at them, and I'll do something else, and I feel like something's looking at me. And I turn around, them damn goats, about 3 or 4 of them. They're always staring at me. And it was the weirdest thing. I don't know, the weird stuff happens to me. And I was out there, I guess I was using a shovel or something. And because the goats are probably about 100 feet away. And I heard this. And I was like, no. And I was like, I didn't know that goat just did that three. They're staring at me. And one of them just had some gas. Ghosts don't, do ghosts fart? I guess they probably have to, huh? It was just weird. They're staring at me. But I think eyes are deep. There's something about eyes. But goats are creepy because they don't know how to mind their own damn business. They need to go find a hobby to do something. Go get some politics. Like the monkeys or something. But every time I'm out there working, I don't even want to go out there and work sometimes. Because they just stare at me. And I met my neighbor over there, and I know him. I already met him, but we never really talked. Here's the guy who used to grow my eggs, and he's the one who converted me to fresh eggs. But his damn ghost, there's something wrong with him. There's something in the apocalypse. I might have to eat one of them. I don't know. I might have to. The damn thing just sit there and stare at you. Last thing I'm gonna say, now I gotta go. I don't believe. I don't. You know what? So I'm watching the Survivor shows, and Black People United, y'all united, never divided, defeated, with all that nonsense y'all talk about. Y'all need to go on the Survivor shows more. Not really, kind of, sort of. I just think about how they never on the Survivor shows, and I was upset by the only one that was on there. He was on that show called Alone. That's the one I'm watching. I'm on season 5 right now. Alone, where the big guy started out after the first season crying. There was one black dude. He last 30 days and he was gone. So this is what I was thinking about. In that show, there's one guy named Larry, and the mice keep crawling into his enclosure, and he keeps eating them. Right, like they crawl in, he eats them. They crawl in. He's got that dead stop trap thing where they crawl in, they chew on the food, and boom, the brick falls and kills them, and he takes them and he guts them and makes some food out of them, puts them in a bowl, makes some soup or something. And somebody help me out here. You know how they say that be careful with the problem with some of these technologies is they have animal tissue in them. And I think about all the plagues over time, and they convinced us that the plagues came because we lived too close to rats and mice and stuff like that. Too close. I'm not sure I believe that. If during our most impoverished times, keeping the power-based systems of the kings and lords kept us in hovel-type environments where we had rats that lived around us all the damn time, we didn't starve. We didn't starve. I think eating rats and mice is a disgusting thought to people because they don't really know what people do when they're starving. If you will eat rats and mice on the starving show where there's no other food around, of course everybody ate rats and mice throughout civilization, all of them. And if we're butchering rats, trying to cut it like a little rat, and you got this knife and stuff, and you cut your finger, you can get pandemic type stuff, right? You can get the mammal viruses that jump that gap between mammals because we ate them all the damn time. And we butchered them all the damn time. How they say where AIDS came from, the guy that was butchering the monkey. They said he was sleeping with the monkey first. Then they say he was butchering the monkey and he got that animal tissue in him. I think most of our pandemics came from the fact that we've been eating mice since the beginning of time. And maybe that's why women are so scared of them, because they're thinking about the king times coming again, where we live in impoverished ghettos in LA and we got to eat mice. We've always eaten mice. But I think that we got to be careful with this idea that somebody's using a technology of taking animal tissue and creating something that's going to cure you from something that's not a problem to begin with. Don't be scared of boogie virus and understand that we are all street workers, whether you're on Wall Street or on the street. Same damn thing. You might be selling your mind, they're selling the booty. Same damn thing. You're still working for a pimp. Where the pimp's at? Where my pimp's back? Where are my pimps? That's not the pimp. That's not the pimp. Is that the pimp? That's not the pimp. Where the pimp at? I don't even know where the pimp. Oh, goodness gracious. Anyway, the bottom line is we're all being pimped. We're all hookers. We all got fur coats. We just like to pretend that our fur coat is better than somebody else's fur coat, or our shoes are cleaner than somebody else's shoes. We can either change the system of being pimped out, being hookers, or we just keep cheering about who has the least of the evil pimp. Anyway, this is Gerard. I gotta go. Y'all have a wonderful